crossover. Oh, killer crossover.
Just crossover and just crossed him over nastily.
Another victim to the crossovers. Cross him up and sit him down.
Time for the crossover, powered by Everlevel Concrete Repair in Omaha at everlevelconcrete.com. Matt, good morning.
Hi, what's up?
Josh has already been here.
Yeah, thanks for coming into the studio.
Gave him a salutation.
You only get one.
Yep.
Did you see my tweet where I said I feel like I'm getting cheated on?
No,
because I posted a picture of you, Josh.
I was too busy doing a bracket sim.
It was a good sim.
Are you doing a sim by the way, so great yesterday. That you
bracket sim of the day.
You had Nebraska losing to...
It wasn't me.
Not Evan. Nebraska losing to Texas A&M yesterday was beautiful.
The narratives write themselves.
That was so
I never
great.
actually look at Connor's computer to see if there's a real bracket there or if he's just been inventing this the entire time, which would be way cooler.
It'd be a lot funnier.
We actually continued the Matt McMaster's friends bracket conversation on the next crossover, and Josh was actually offended at his seed.
Oh yeah, what'd you call him? A 5 or something?
I called him. I said Josh Otson was a 3, and Josh.
I received several texts that said you're a 1 seed. Don't let anyone tell you any different. And I had no context.
That's great.
Well, by the way, I'm ranking you amongst like all of my high school friends in college. Like 3 is pretty high.
Kevin, he's putting you with Kevin.
No,
I could beat Kevin.
Yeah,
he's
probably
putting Kevin above you.
Josh was like legitimately offended that he was lower than Josh Otson. It's like, I'm only a 4.
I was going to ask you yesterday, and I forgot to where you would put the Creighton baseball team.
They have been banned. They are not allowed to make the tournament.
I know you hate those guys.
They
keep smelling bad.
I walked.
I kind of hate them right now too.
I walked by their door on Monday, and I'm like, they're back. I don't know what they're cooking. And then I walked into my. It's now getting worse.
I'll have to bring this up tomorrow.
It's now getting worse because now it's entering our kitchen. Like when I'm about to make my food, I now smell their food, which is disgusting.
I'm walking to that dugout tomorrow. I'm going to say, I heard you guys suck at cooking.
I can tell you the exact people who it is too, because we have them marked down. Because we
marked them down.
Well, I wanted to know who was doing it, and so we would see their faces.
Describe the smell.
It is like. It's almost like they burned dirty socks, like they're grilling dirty socks. Like
that doesn't seem likely.
You can tell that it's chicken. It's some sort of chicken.
One of the guys using the oven as a dryer.
Can I tell you
like
right now? Here's what you need to tell them. Boys, there's a thing called a fan. You have it in your kitchen.
Yeah, but Matt, you have to understand.
Turn the fan on.
I can't just take your word for it. I have to.
It smells.
I can't just take your word for it.
Can you tell them to sweep Gonzaga?
I will tell them that.
Okay.
Yes.
They could use that.
It's crazy. It literally bleeds into our.
They do.
And we have. By the way,
LSU lost in the midweek again.
Yeah.
We're not sharing.
It's not good for Creighton.
We're not sharing a wall. We don't even share a wall. There's like a space in between, like our two, and still the smell runs through Dan's room into our family room.
It's fascinating.
They're disgusting.
I mean, I believe you. I just have to get it. I just have to get it verified, before I really take it up,
I'm imagining like you would probably know this name. I think his name's Mike McKnight here in Illinois.
Yeah.
And he does investigation.
Listener of the show.
Yeah, he listens
He's
to the
probably
station.
listening right now.
Okay.
Hi, Mike.
Well, if someone did a
Happy
spoof
retirement.
of a Mike McKnight investigation as into the root cause of this smell and like made it a whole video package, it would be incredible.
Hey, what if Mike McKnight did petty stuff?
6 on your side, Mike McKnight. What smells in Matt's apartment?
It's
They
ridiculous.
determine the root cause of the smell is actually something that Matt did.
I don't know. I think they might hit
Now
you back.
that is the best possible result.
They might hit you back with. We'll tell them to stop smoking cigars in the patio, which might be a valid complaint back.
All right. Well, I'm not here to arbitrate.
Well, you're gonna be like, I don't have a garage to smoke.
Exactly.
So.
Thank you, Mike Schaefer. It's just a little ridiculous.
So they're not making your bracket.
No, God, no. They suck.
They made a regional last year.
They suck.
They made a real bracket, but they can't make the friendship.
No,
bracket.
they will not.
A regional final. I'll add.
I'm gonna be honest with you. I would have loved to have been friends with them. I was friends with the Nebraska baseball team. Right, they were great guys to hang out with. Studs. Had an awesome time.
What?
I was looking forward to having baseball guys living next to us because I was like, you know what? This would be cool if we could cultivate a relationship.
So you're saying all the Nebraska baseball players smell good and are cool?
Yeah, they
Can't
were.
possibly.
They
That
were
is
awesome.
so wrong.
They were great to hang out
There's
with.
no way
They
that's
all-
true.
they
I
all
like how
use
offended you are on
heads,
behalf of Creighton.
heads and
I'm
shoulders.
offended on behalf of all baseball
They were,
players.
they always smelled good. They always had cologne on. They were nicely dressed. They were, real professional.
You know that's a
and
lie.
we would hammer beers. I was just hammering beers with boys.
That is disgusting.
These guys, they're 3 and 6, and obviously the chicken protein smelly socks recipe isn't working for them.
Matt, unbelievable.
Look, I would root
Unbelievable.
for Creighton baseball if
If they smelled better.
yes,
Are
if they
you
weren't
saying that-
stinking up my apartment.
Are you saying Creighton went 0-2 this week in the midweek?
They didn't play the.
Yeah, they didn't play.
Oh, okay. The previous week they did or something?
They didn't play any
Oh.
midweek games.
I thought you said that they were losing.
LSU has lost twice in the midweek
Yeah.
this week, and they
Wow.
play LSU next Tuesday. Creighton does.
Bad timing.
Yeah, I think so.
So there you go. I know.
I just find it hard to believe that on one side you found a group of baseball players who smell good and are nice, and then
Yeah.
on this side you have found a group that smells horrible and are mean.
I haven't met them. I would love to meet them.
Maybe you should extend the olive branch.
I have that. I walked by 2 of them, and I gave them both like kind of the head nod, and they give it to me back. One of them does not. One of them cannot be bothered. One of them does not look like he wants any sort of anything to do with.
Maybe
anybody.
extend the olive branch to that person. Maybe that's
I
the
don't-
first one you get.
I think that guy thinks he's big time, if you will.
Unbelievable.
You work with a lot of different athletes. Can you rank the programs by odor?
What's the
Great
smelliest program I've ever
question.
been around?
Ooh,
He's probably going to say Nebraska baseball. Just
Good
No,
topic.
it's definitely Nebraska football. I mean, but football players are just generally more smelly because of their equipment.
never
Yeah,
been in a hockey locker.
I've
may
never
not
been in a
have
hockey
anything.
locker room
Yeah.
though.
yeah.
Yeah.
You don't got us beat.
I know what that smells like.
I can bring in my pads right now if you want to give a whiff.
Absolutely not. Absolutely.
They're banned.
not.
They're banned. They're on the dead to us list.
But it's not so much the actual like net smelliness of the situation. It's more about the care about smelling around others. Like how much do you care how you present yourself? Football players don't. Generally in my experience, I don't think baseball players really do either, which is what makes this whole shiny, clean-shaven, smelling good Nebraska baseball team just a farcical thing to me.
They were fun. They were good guys to
This
be
is
around.
so weird.
They were awesome.
This is the
we were
weirdest
just
take.
hanging and banging at brothers. We were just having a great time, dude.
Peter, it's a farcical call.
Now,
He was Baba
granted, I wasn't with like the 40 members of Nebraska baseball's team. It was like 5 guys. Okay.
Boy. It is.
But
Those
to be
guys don't
fair-
smell good.
To be
A smelly
fair,
pocket.
it's four dudes of Creighton baseball, and they're the worst. I know when they're traveling. I literally walk by their room and I go, "Oh, they're clearly like at home this week because it smells like crap." When they play,
Well, bad news is it's February and they're gone the entire time.
and I walk by them. I walked by like 2 weeks ago, and it didn't smell like anything on a Tuesday. And I was like, "Oh," and I looked at the schedule. I'm like, "Oh, they're in California right now." Great. It was awesome.
Get used to them. They're going to be around. a
We've
little
had
bit.
to
You're
buy.
moving anyways, aren't you? This isn't that
Yes,
big of a deal.
but for another the whole season. By the time we move, their season's going to be done.
Maybe you'll move next to a new group of Creighton baseball
Oh,
players
man.
that smell awesome.
We've had to buy candles, like invest actual dollars
That's
in
something
candles.
you
There's
could
no
do
way it's
normally.
this bad.
Yes, it is. It is this bad. You can ask Dan. We can get my roommate on the horn. He spent $60 in the last.
I'm going to
6
get the
weeks
other
in
side
candles.
of this story.
Have him call in.
I'll give
you the
I want
names.
to talk to him in
It's
private.
a perfectly normal thing to buy candles.
No, but we were like our place smelled fine, and we didn't really felt like we need them with
fine,
candles.
And then you moved in. That's what happened.
No, it wasn't. we lived without these guys for a year. Then they moved in. Then we had to get candles.
Schaefer still maintains that it's something
There's-
that Matt's
There's
doing.
a real possibility that you just have like maybe
No,
some
it's not.
fish got
There's-
under a
I'm
chair.
telling you, no.
Or-
You can tell when they're cooking. It's when they are cooking.
Okay.
but that, I mean, food.
Well, how are you defending these men?
Well,
I'm
they're
I'm
Creighton.
I'm,
I'm
your
the Creighton
guy.
pace-
You know the
Baseball guy.
answer, It's Creighton.
Yeah. All right.
If you were
That's
next
right.
to
You're
UNO
defending them
baseball
too.
players, he would not be defending them.
First of all,
You know, baseball players wouldn't do anything like this.
Matt, am I to understand that you don't believe that food and cooking food has any sort of odor?
Not to this degree. Not to where it's literally leaking into another apartment that is. We're not even connected in walls. There's like a good 5 foot
You
space.
explained this already. Yeah,
it's crazy. I don't know what they're doing. I don't know if they're burning sesame seed. I can't even describe. It's like it smells like yellowy and like sticky and like.
Does yellow have a smell?
I don't know. I don't know what it is, what they're doing in there, but it seeps into our room.
I think you got to work on your scent description.
I can't even.
It's
disgusting.
It's
disgusting. It's disgusting.
If you live next to Omaha baseball players, you wouldn't smell anything because they're at the Gopher tournament this weekend at US Bank. And then people will inevitably in the region here go, oh my gosh, Minnesota plays baseball in US Bank Stadium.
They probably smell like dead birds. They're gonna come back smelling like dead birds smashed up against that window.
Birds and then brought them back. And
I will give Creighton baseball credit though. They are not noisy neighbors. They haven't thrown a party or they haven't done anything.
Ooh, which would you rather, noisy neighbors or smelly neighbors?
Probably noisy.
You wanted to say smelly, and that's how you said noisy.
Yeah, that was interesting.
Noisy, because here's why. The noisiness would happen like maybe once every couple of weeks with a party. Okay. They have not thrown a party. They have not been overly loud. They have not, forced us to not fall asleep. It just, when I walk into the apartment at 6:00, it smells like crap.
Crack a window,
on
baby.
one side of your apartment thing, you've got really loud neighbors.
Yes.
And on the other side, you have the
smelly neighbors.
Wow.
This is why we're moving.
And in the middle, you're you plus cigars.
Yes.
Okay.
It's not a great combo.
There's a lot happening in that hallway.
There's so much going on in that
What a
hallway.
hallway.
Did like a cigar maybe burn something that you're unaware of in your house?
No.
Okay.
I
I still
How
like
many people do you live with?
I'm trying to get to the bottom.
I
Of
still like the
One.
fish under the
There's 2 of
couch
you in your
theory.
apartment complex.
Yeah.
But then there's 4 in the other one.
Yes. So we are a 2x2 sandwich by 4 by whatever. So where we're moving to next, we have only one neighbor. We don't have 2 neighbors, which is part of the reason.
We don't need roads.
And we have a patio as opposed. So when I smoke my cigars, it goes out into the ether as opposed to lingering in on like the ground.
How often do you smoke cigars?
When Nathan, Ohio sends me them.
How often's that?
I would probably say I smoke 1 to 2 cigars a week.
Whole deals?
Cigars. I go to a place in the old market and I smoke.
Do you
there.
sit out
Havana?
there and make your McFuture bets?
No, I listen to a book
Okay.
or I listen to Bill Simmons.
Harry Potter.
No, I'm listening to Dark Matter right now.
Good
So
book.
yeah, good book. I got 3 hours left, so I got to start looking for a new book. I'm a simple man. You
Not
said
a
this many
thimble man.
times. I am a thimble man. I like the thimble.
That's
Oh, yeah,
right.
that's
We
right.
did establish.
I
that.
did, and then you told me that most women like the thimble.
Well, that
what
was
the
from
thing
somebody
said.
else. Yeah,
somebody tried telling me what my like stars and sky and all my astrology.
it was probably
was.
Alyssa.
Yeah, it
Yeah,
sounds like
it
Alyssa,
was.
yeah.
Yeah. And I was like, I'm an Aries, and she's like, well, your moon is, and I was like, I'm sorry, I don't.
Well,
know.
she's keeping track.
Until I met her, I didn't know there was more than
Yeah.
your sign. I didn't know you had.
Yeah, there's
it
like a
broke
dark
off.
sign and
Yeah.
a light sign and a winter
She
sign.
has your child sign.
She has my child, and,
Yeah.
and she for some reason needed to know what time of the day we
Yeah.
were all born at.
Yeah,
We did our birth
yeah.
charts. Yeah.
When were you? What time were you born?
12:20 something in the morning.
In the
That
morning.
fits.
Yeah,
Just
midnight.
wanting to arrive as soon as possible.
I
That fits
think
a personality.
I think I
trait.
was late.
Yeah, but I meant towards the day. The day.
Gotcha.
aspect
In
of
the
it.
day.
I was born at 1:56 a.m. So
Samesies.
yeah,
you know?
just very like me, just very inconvenient at times. Just a very inconvenient.
Wow, an
time to be
inconvenient
born.
baby. Although I'm pretty sure everybody's usually pretty prepared for it.
2 a.m. though is a tough time to be born.
It doesn't matter. You're in the hospital.
I've never been there before. I couldn't relate.
I mean, I would have loved to have the kid at 2:00 in the morning, like the night we got there, but we had to wait a whole day.
Mhm.
What time was your daughter born?
Like 10:30 at night.
Okay,
Yeah.
nice prime time
10:30
baby.
the next night.
The next night.
Yeah.
Yeah, late night baby, West Coast baby, if
Yeah.
you will.
We're just sitting there all day, like watching Breaking Bad.
I would have called her Walton Schaefer.
I was like-
Walton Happer.
My name's
Sorry.
Pepper,
Yeah, sorry. Happa, Schaefer.
Oh, we have a comment from Alyssa.
Hello.
Shafe, you're next.
Yeah.
Okay.
Get ready to-
10:22 p.m.
Get
You
ready to tell
strike
your
me
birth
as
time.
an October man, that you were born in the month of October.
That's accurate.
Whoa.
October 21st.
Reverse the numbers.
12, October 12th.
Wow.
What time of the day?
You just
It was like
scream October.
5:30 or something in the evening. I was looking at a photo of this the other
Prime
day.
time, baby.
Like last
He
year
is
at
a
some
prime
point.
time
Yeah.
baby.
And
You're looking live
the
at
first-
Schaefer's birth.
the first photo of me that exists is my dad holding me with just a very disgruntled look on his face. And I pointed this out to my mom because we were doing this sort of project that involved these old photos. And she's like, well, yeah, he had just come from work and, and I'm thinking to myself like,
Whoa.
oh, the day that I was born, he wasn't there. He just shows up from basically work. He's like, all right, I've got a third kid now.
Incredibly
What am I
dad
going to do
move.
with this?
Incredibly dad move.
It is just in like the look on his face is just like,
That's
this
awesome.
isn't what I signed up for.
That's awesome.
Well, he just got done working.
I
It's
know.
5:30. It's
That was her.
what day of the week was
It was
it?
a Monday.
Ugh.
But then
God,
I was like,
grr,
Mom, I don't
Mondays.
think he would have been working because I was born on a holiday. I was born on Columbus Day.
Whoa.
No, time and a half. Got to get that time and a half.
His job, the office wouldn't have been open.
Oh, okay.
And then she was like, well, I think there might have been a board meeting that he was at or something. And I was like, all right, now we're just stretching to try to explain why he looked unhappy.
Just tell me he
Am
wasn't
I
happy
right?
I was there. just tell me the truth. Tell me he wasn't happy I was
like,
born.
Mom, I had a childhood. I know how he felt.
You don't have to pretend.
I mean, like, that's just what it was.
There's just something about you that I look at you and it screams autumn.
Yeah.
You just give off
Good
an
name.
autumn vibe.
I don't know. I never thought that I really had much of a vibe, to be honest.
I think you.
I think I
have a
just sort
vibe.
of exist in whatever
No,
place.
I
that I'm
think
in.
your vibe is. I think you got a little bit of aura. Do you?
Mm.
You know.
I know Alyssa will let me know what my.
What do you think I am?
I think you're just a cool guy.
But what? Okay, so you clearly don't want to get. You knew what month of the year that Schaefer was born in.
I swear to God, I did not.
What month of the year was I born in?
I did this with Alyssa,
think
by
you
the way.
probably-
I guessed what you're a May baby.
You knew that.
I
You're one
swear
of
to
these
God, I
rare
did
people.
not.
He knew that.
I swear to God, I did not. I
What
did
month of the year
that.
is Josh born in?
May
You knew that.
May 25th and May 24th.
No.
See,
No.
I didn't know. You gave off May vibes.
I mean, my birthday is May 25th.
You give off May vibes.
That's not true. That's not true.
What
You
are
just-
May vibes?
You just, I don't know. You're slim.
This,
You know?
I'm not slim.
You're
This-
just, I don't know. You're just,
you picked the one thing I'm not.
you just, I don't know. You're just kind of there. You're just, ooh,
I am
Such an
kinda there.
abstract answer. And
Yeah.
You could have said anything and you said the wrong thing.
Yeah. Just,
All right, I'm gonna get out my
I swear to you,
camera. and
I
we're
s-
gonna go around the office, you and I together, and you're gonna start saying what months people were born. in.
I'm telling you right now. I did
I
this.
actually think this would be terrific.
I did
fun.
this with
Good
Alyssa.
video.
I did this with Alyssa. I told Alyssa, I go, you look like a September baby. And she was like, yes, I am.
Alyssa was not born in September.
Whatever month she was, I said it correctly.
You're such a liar.
I
This
said
is the
correctly.
fakest thing I've ever heard.
I got his month right. I got his
And you
month
couldn't
right.
stop
and
there.
I got Alyssa's
you
month
should have
right.
just eaten it.
And I
man.
got your month right.
You knew it.
No, I didn't.
You.
I
sh-
swear to you, I didn't.
Did you
I
not-
knew you two were a day apart.
With one of us, you rolled with one of us, you may have guessed it. With another one, you rolled the dice, and you may have been right, but you knew one of them as
Alyssa
well.
was March. I guessed March for Alyssa. She
You
was
would have
March.
been wrong.
Wait, what was she? Is she April? I think she might be April.
Keep guessing. I mean, you're.
I don't
gonna
know.
Keep
I got
proving
it right.
yourself wrong.
There is a finite amount of guesses for you, though.
I got
As in there's
Schaefer's
12
right.
months. I guess unless you try to guess the same month twice, which knowing you, very possible.
Any
I wasn't
comments
lying.
from the people?
Someone goes, when I used to smoke a lot of reefer, I had a lot more interesting conversations than this. This is cringe AF. I don't know. If we all smoked weed and did the crossover, I think it would be more entertaining.
Whoa. Yeah.
Should we do a high?
I don't think we could do that though.
1620 the high.
I don't think that. I don't know if that's legal.
I don't know if we can. Yeah.
Yeah.
In this state, it would not be.
Yeah.
Sure.
She's
Sure.
making
It'd
jokes.
definitely be funny.
That wasn't a real pitch, by the way.
And
definitely
we
be fun.
voted on it, but
It
whatever.
felt like a real one.
We don't take votes here.
It felt more real than when you guessed that their birthday was in May.
I guessed yours, and I guessed yours.
You totally got it.
Jacob Bigelow goes, what month was I born in?
What
Matt?
month was Jacob Bigelow born in?
Probably November.
I actually don't. I'm not.
Jacob gives off November vibes.
Yeah, why do you
remember
know
off the
all
top of my
these
head.
birthdays over here?
Because he's a
Because I
weirdo.
could sort of just very quickly flash back through my
Do you
year.
know Josh Peterson's birthday?
He's November.
I know it.
I think he's
well, I don't know
November.
the date. I know the month.
Isn't he November?
He is not November. The only reason I know this is he spent weeks telling me how excited he was to get wings for his birthday, even though he could have gotten wings at
Classic
any point.
Josh.
He's an adult with no kids. Like he can get wings literally whenever he
Any
wants.
point
Whenever he
before
wants.
his birthday, but it was weeks of buildup for these wings.
August.
Close.
Yeah.
September.
September 5th.
Is that it?
Yeah, that's what Alyssa said.
Jana is 4th of July. I know that.
That is
Mhm.
the
Yeah.
most fitting
Hard to
birthday.
The
forget that
most
one.
John
That-
birthday of all
that-
time.
Definitely fit.
That fits so much.
John loves America so much.
He shares a
John.
birthday with my father.
Whoa.
America's John.
Yeah.
America John.
I never mind. I was conceived on John's birthday.
No. You don't need to say that.
If you subtract 9 months from April 5th, you get to July
Well, I mean,
4th.
it's not always automatic.
No, I mean, this one was pretty spot on.
Well, were you told this?
Yes.
Okay. Well, then that makes sense.
Yeah.
But it doesn't have to be. We did it on a crossover one time. The Nebraska football. The Nebraska football like conception map or like whatever. I don't know. Somebody's gonna have to help me out. But
Like, was there
was there a football game that your
Sure.
conception was most closely attached to, or
Sure.
could have been near?
So like October,
or like what was the most
So-
recent date?
yeah. So August and October of '96, a lot of babies were born.
Well, but we did it for like each of us.
Okay.
So
okay.
like, you know,
So mine would be the 1987 Super Bowl where the Giants beat the Broncos 39-20.
but you have to come up with a Husker football game that was closest.
So the
to
closest
that day.
one to that would be whoever they would have played
Yeah.
at the end of the 86 season.
Same thing to well, mine would have been probably in the middle. It would have been in the middle of the 91 season. The start of the 91 season.
I'll definitely have a bear baby.
There's a lot that has to go into it.
Yeah, a lot of
Yeah.
stuff's got to happen.
I gotta
First,
get a
it
girlfriend.
needs to not like they got to stay the Bears instead of being a Mississippi River Bear
That's true.
or whatever they would be in
That's-
Hammond.
yeah.
The Hammond Hungry Bears. Because
Hungry,
they don't
hungry
have a
ham-
Subway to eat at.
hungry,
No, they
hungry
don't.
Hammond
They don't.
Bears.
By the way, the Hammond mayor saying that it would be easier to get to Indiana than it would be to Arlington Heights was the stupidest and tone deaf thing I've ever heard in my life. Which, by the way,
compared to literally
false.
every other part of this conversation that involves Kevin Warren,
good point.
I
Very
think
valid.
you would have to walk that statement.
This
back.
is all specifically designed to trigger you, and it's working.
I'm aware.
I have the 1991 Nebraska football season up.
Yeah, it'd have been like late September if you do the math that
Late,
way.
so, I mean, only 2 games were on TV.
It doesn't matter.
Okay.
We're just going. Yeah.
59-28 over Utah State,
Uh-huh.
71-14 over Colorado State.
Yeah.
Good time.
36-21 loss to number 4 Washington, or an 18-9 win over 24th ranked Arizona State
Here we go.
on the
you
road.
created an anger.
That would explain a lot.
I don't think that they cared about Husker football.
Were they living here at that time?
No.
So then, yeah, it wouldn't even be
Oh.
related to that.
Do I need to look up how the Yankees did that weekend?
There you go. That's a better idea.
Do you want a reason to be conceived?
No, not at
Okay.
all. But it was just a fun thing that we were doing one day. And
Do
sort
you
of
just
odd.
want your parents to be like, all right, let's put it in the books?
Who won the World Series in 91?
No clue.
Twins?
Yes. No. Yes.
Yeah, they won it
Twins.
over the Braves.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay.
That's when my Braves fandom was born, despite my father.
When did the Yankees lose in the playoffs that year, if they made it?
They made it. They no, that's the regular season.
I'm just laughing at
Late
the idea
regular
of
season.
angry conceived sex.
Having some slow internet here. I'm sorry.
It's all right.
It's
We don't
okay.
need to go much further down this road.
Where we're I
A
don't
road less traveled for a reason.
know. Alrighty. Happy Boo Year. The crossover.
It's called
Whoa.
Crappy Boo Year.
Crappy
Whoa,
Boo Year.
whoa.
The crossover is powered by Everlevel Concrete Repair in Omaha at everlevelconcrete.com. Middays is back coming up next.
I need your help. I can't tell you what it is. You can never ask me about it later, and we're going to hurt some people.
Whose car are we going to take?
I have a lot of things I want to get off my chest.
That's an absolutely horse crap call.
Hey, Grover Daddy! But they are who we thought they were, and we let them off the hook.
Chicago is.
This is Middays with Matt on 1620 The Zone.
Middays with Matt live here on 1620 The Zone. The crew is back together. Josh Odson back in studio, baby. We missed you yesterday. Peter Krenzer shut out, did a great job, but it's never the same when Josh O isn't in the producer seat. Mr. Odson, welcome back.
Hello, thank you. Glad to be back. Missed you all.
I missed you too. It's gonna be a great show today. We are pumped up today. It was one of those things where I walked in the producer's den, if you will. Walked into your office. I don't know, we were a little giddy. We were a little Josh giddy, if you will. You know, in the good way, not in the bad way.
Yeah, sure.
You know, we were very excited because you know what? The probable starting quarterback of Nebraska basketball talked yesterday. The running backs coach of Nebraska basketball talked yesterday.
What?
Or Nebraska football.
Okay.
Sorry, Nebraska football talked yesterday. A lot of things were said. If you are trying not to drink the Kool-Aid, if you will, a lot of things were said that maybe might want you to drink the Kool-Aid. Did Matt McMaster's Kool-Aid meter go up?
Oh, yeah.
After yesterday's conversation. Josh Odson, I'm going to bury the lead. You're damn right it did.
Whoa, really?
My Kool-Aid meter went up just a little bit.
It was Colandrea's teeth, wasn't it?
Okay.
They're very white.
That guy's got a tan. Is he keeping that up? Like, is there a...
Hard to keep that up in Lincoln, right?
Exactly. So does he have like an NIL? He needs to get an NIL deal with like a tanning spa in Lincoln. I think that would be a really good opportunity for both the tanning spa and him. Because his skin was glistening yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
I was impressed. I was like, you look at the media room, everybody there, no offense to all of our friends who write and, do TV and Nebraska media, they were all pale ghosts. They're all ghostly. They were...
More you need to be writing outside like Brian Christopherson does.
Yes. They were haunting the houses with their ghostliness. All right? That's how white it's a lot of the, just not a lot of tan, if you will, in the Husker media room, except for Anthony Colandrea. Had a great tan. Also, had a really good 8 minutes. Very impressed by him. I'm a big fan. I actually am. You know what? You need dudes to be dudes on the football field, but you also need dudes to act like dudes off of the football field. And he's kind of got a demeanor and a way he talks and the way he kind of walks and approaches things and listens to people. A lot like the dudes I was around who were very, very, very good at hockey, who went to play D1 hockey, some of which went to go and get drafted in the NHL. I was around those dudes growing up, and he kind of reminded me of some of that vibe, of some of no, I'm good, man.
Mm-hmm.
But he's not in your face about it, but he's also not trying to please anybody, right? He's not trying to build a brand or come off a certain way or win bonus points or pander to anybody. He's not, there's no ulterior motive, I feel like, when he was at the podium yesterday.
Interesting approach. We'll see if it works.
Yeah, we'll see if if being genuine works.
See if being a genuine human being works.
Seriously. That's just kind of he was just at the podium. He was like, yeah, it was crazy, man. Ordered a black shirt, Nebraska shirt popped up. Isn't that kind of wild, right? Yeah. What I learned from Dan Mullen, just throw to the open guy, dude. I just got to throw to the open guy. What's important to you, Anthony? I just want to learn my teammates' names, man. I just know that people like it when you know their name. I'm going to make sure to know their name. Yeah, I like to have fun. I like handshakes.
I also found it interesting that he just actually talked to the media.
Yes. He wasn't. I feel like he was talking.
Hard to build a brand when you never talk to the media.
He was just a dude at the podium talking, and I kind of was like, cool. I was just like, cool. This is fun. This is just, ask him a question. He's like, yeah, Dan Mullen, father figure, great guy, learned a lot, improved. Oh, Dana Holgerson, the energy he showed, love it.
Dana Holgerson showed energy?
I know, right? I was like, okay. Anthony, do you know what you just said?
He's like me. He drinks all those Red Bulls, but he seems so sleepy.
Dana can't be bothered, and I love it. I love it. I think my favorite answer, and watching all of these press conferences for the last almost 4 years now, I think, well, actually, I've been watching all these press conferences dating back to Frost for now 5 years. I think one of my favorite answers of all time has been Dana Holgerson looking down the barrel of Sam McKewon and saying, is that the fans saying that, or is that you saying that? Are the fans communicating that, or is that the media, Sam? You tell me, buckaroo. And then Sam, because Sam's awesome and he's a pro's pro, he goes, yeah, it's both. Yeah. I'm saying that too. I probably wrote that at some point. I don't know if Sam did or not, but that's I don't know. I was impressed by Anthony. And I got some vibes from the outlook of this team that reminded me of the 2023 Nebraska football team. At some point today during the show, probably after we talk to Steve Sipple. Steve Sipple will be on at 11:05 today. After we talk to Steve Sipple, we're going to talk about some of the similarities between this team and the 2023 team. And even though there's been 3 years of difference now between that season and this season, I think that it's communicating to me that this is kind of the type of team and type of roster they've wanted to build since they've stepped down in Lincoln, since they've stepped into their roles at Lincoln. This is the type of team that they were looking to build. And circumstances that they certainly could not deny, and those circumstances being Dylan Raiola committing to the team, changed that. But I do think that when they came to Nebraska in 2023, their idea of what a winning team looks like in Lincoln kind of is more similar to what they have now compared to what they had last year, if that makes sense. Does that compute a little? Like,
I follow.
Like what they thought a team that would win in the Big Ten at Memorial Stadium was closer to how they've designed this roster this season than last season. Now, John goes, didn't the 2023 team suck? I mean, I'm more so coming off of they're built, like the concepts are the same. And I'll explain to you what those concepts are, John. The 2023 roster, went 5-7, weren't very good. Is this roster way more talented than that roster? Absolutely. Absolutely. Theo goes, 2023 was a giant missed opportunity. Theo, I agree with you, which is kind of part of the reason why I don't mind that this roster looks kind of similar or is built in a similar type of style, right? There are similarities top to bottom between 2023 and this roster. And Theo going, it was a missed opportunity. Yeah, and I agree with that. And part of me that's why I don't mind it, because I think that they were a couple of decisions away in 2023 from winning. Can you imagine that 2023 team if they actually had a quarterback? Like, I hate doing this. Whoa, they should have won 8 games. No, you should have won what you should have won. I've always believed that. You are what your record says you are. That was a 5-7 team in 2023. But if they made one decision the best they could have possibly done, which was the quarterback decision, they undoubtedly would have made a bowl game. Would they have won like 9 games? No. I'm not going to go that far. But they definitely would have played in the postseason in their first year, which, we know how much these bowl practices mean to this program. And frankly, the bowl practices are part of the reason, at least that's what they've explained to us, as to why they didn't go and get a transfer portal running back, which, definitely did explain a lot in the offseason. So we'll talk about Nebraska football. We'll talk to Steve Sipple at 11 o'clock. Andy Kendi of KTV will join us at 1:15. We have a lot of just little things to hit. I mean, there's just been a lot going on across sports. We're going to look at a FOIA today. Oh my God.
Yes.
Oh my God. If this show does anything right, it's the FOIA talk. We have a beautiful FOIA in from Miami of Ohio, which gives us an opportunity to crap on power teams in college basketball, and in particularly Bruce Pearl. Chef's kiss, absolutely beautiful. We have a lot of house cleaning to do. We have a lot of housekeeping to do. We're going to talk a little bit about Nebraska men's baseball. We'll talk a little bit about Nebraska women's basketball. Omaha women's basketball. Shout out. Jamie Carey, shout out. 6-25 to end the regular season. They go to the Summit League Conference Tournament. They pick up a win over North Dakota. They play North Dakota State today at 1:00, the number 1 seed. Hell yeah, Omaha women's basketball. So shout out them. Omaha softball, 14-4. Still one of the best teams in mid-major college softball. They picked up 2 losses against Arkansas, the number 7 team in the country. One of those losses only came by 2 runs. They are going to, I believe it's this weekend. Yeah, it is this weekend. 2 days from now, Nebraska versus Omaha softball in Lincoln at Bowling Stadium. Should be incredible. Should be some great stuff. So Mike Hurd and his squad taking on the Nebraska softball squad, who they, in their own right, having a phenomenal year. 14-5, have beaten multiple number 1 teams in the country. Did drop one last week to Oklahoma State, but have won. Then they beat Oklahoma State on Saturday. They lost them on Thursday. Then they beat them on Saturday. They also picked up 2 other wins against South Dakota State and Tulsa. Should be fun. Omaha softball versus Nebraska softball. How about that? Just a nice little sweet treat for you during the weekend. So we'll touch on some of those teams. We'll talk about Creighton basketball. You know what? It's almost perfect. It's almost on brand, if you will, for this Creighton men's basketball team. This iteration of the program this year chose like the final game of the regular season for them to have so this is what it could look like. They waited till the last moment for you to see wow, this is kind of why they were preseason ranked to begin the year. This is okay. This is what it looks like when Nick Graves is pushing the ball and Josh Dix is hunting and hitting his shots. Okay. All right. This is what it looks like. They waited till the last possible moment to do it, but at least they've done it. And they got a ton of help yesterday when it comes to getting the 5 seed. In order to get the 5 seed, Creighton needed to win their game against Butler, have DePaul lose their final 2 games against Villanova and Butler, and then have Providence lose one of their last 2 games. They won last night, so they're going to finish the Big East regular season at 9-11. They don't have a game this weekend. Everybody else has a game this weekend. They don't. Then you got DePaul. They lost to Villanova at home yesterday, so they got the 1 DePaul loss. And then Providence lost yesterday to Marquette. They got drubbed by Marquette. So Creighton, after dropping that 1 to DePaul and not allowing themselves to control their own destiny, and then losing another one to Providence, still could end up getting the bye in the first day or the first couple of days of the Big East Conference Tournament at MSG. So big stuff for Creighton yesterday. We'll talk about that win. We will also talk about some other fun things that are going around in sports. Jason Benetti signs with NBC.
It's our guy.
What a moment NBC is having in sports. They are killing it. They got Noah Eagle, Mike Tirico, John Fana, Jason Benetti. Their crew is legit. Maria Taylor killing it. They're doing a very good job over at NBC covering sports. They've had, if we were gonna to elect a front runner for Network of the Year, I feel like NBC has to be in front at this point. Do we agree? The Olympics, the Super Bowl,
yeah.
The increased coverage of NBC. The 6 Michael Jordan interviews that they paid way too much money for.
People really enjoyed the NBA throwback broadcast.
Yes, that was on Tuesday. That was a good time. Did you see Tyler Reddick's what his paint scheme is going to look like for Phoenix this week? Michael Jordan's own race car.
No.
It's gorgeous. It's beautiful. It's like they did like a championship theme on his paint scheme. It is one of the sexiest NASCAR paint schemes I've ever seen. By the way, F1 Drive to Survive live on Netflix. I started watching it yesterday. I might be falling into the Nick Grimm trap.
Oh, no. That's how it starts.
Did you see that they're having I believe it's on, I want to make sure I get this right here. HBO is going to have a PBA, a Professional Bowling Association documentary that premieres in 11 days that's produced by Ben Stiller.
Yes. Okay, that's a pretty cool paint scheme.
It's pretty dope. I'm going to watch this bowling
You're going to watch the bowling show.
Born to Bowl.
You know, Pete Weber's not on this show, right?
No, but Jason Belmonte is.
That doesn't mean anything to
and
me.
He's an incredible Australian bowler who has been at the top of the heap of the PBA for a very, very long time. You know Belmo?
No.
Okay. No. All right. I don't know. I just thought I'd throw it out there. The only reason I know Jason Belmonte is because he was on a Dude Perfect trick shot video growing up.
Okay.
You know, and like all the kids my age who love Dude Perfect are like, we're Jason Belmonte guys. Okay. That's how it works. That's called marketing. That's called getting yourself out there.
That was the exact point of him doing that show.
Literally.
It was.
Do you know they call cones witches' hats in Australia?
No, but I see it. It makes sense.
You know, kind of looks like a witch's hat, if you will. So we'll talk about that. We'll talk about Benetti. We'll talk about NBC. Talk about a FOIA. Stephon Diggs, no longer on the New England Patriots. He does have some legal stuff that's going on too. So we'll have to check in on that to see if that has anything to do with it. But immediately CBS Sports released a "Who should sign him" article. So I'm assuming that probably doesn't have a whole lot of bearing on what's going on. Your team, the Tennessee Titans, top of the list to go ahead and sign Stephon Diggs.
Perfect.
Are we
washed wide receiver for the Tennessee Titans to sign?
Are we going to try and like convince ourselves of the Tennessee Titans winning 8 or 9 games and maybe label them as like, oh, they could be a sleeper in the AFC South?
Yeah.
Is this where we're heading?
That's going to happen. I don't want it to happen.
Okay,
I don't think it's going to happen, but people on the shows are going to say it. Yeah, absolutely.
I think they are going to be the dark horse team that no longer becomes a dark horse team.
Mm-hmm.
We did this with Illinois football last year.
Yeah.
Do we remember this?
It's going to be the exact same vibes.
We kept saying that Illinois football was underrated and that they were the dark horse, but
didn't really have any reasons why.
Well, too many people started saying it to where they can't be a dark horse if everybody picks them to be a dark horse. Titans might end up being that. They have a lot of cap space. They have some high draft picks. They have Cam Ward, who a lot of people love, myself included. And if they go ahead and stop, if they make like the sexy pickups, if you will.
Oh, yeah.
You know?
Trade for that Max Crosby guy. I hear he's good.
Apparently everybody's trading for him.
Yeah.
And he definitely does not want to be in Vegas anymore. We also have the NHL trying to be the NFL. So it's not going to work. It's not going to work. You know, so they did like the Monsters Inc. game and the Incredibles game.
I'm familiar.
Okay. I loved them. I thought they were great. I watched the entire Chargers-Eagles game through Mike Wazowski and James T. Sullivan.
Disgusting.
Okay. It was awesome. It was great. I watched the animated version of the game where Justin Herbert had basically broken his wrist. And like he just decided to play. They're going to try and do this with hockey. I think it's going to fail miserably, and I don't think any hockey fans are going to want cartoons to raid their tough macho sport that they have a ton of pride in, which the NHL trade deadline has been going on. And the Blackhawks have decided to trade a lot of my favorite players, so I'm really happy about that.
They traded a guy named Connor to Edmonton. They already got a Connor over there.
Well, the Connor they traded, Connor Murphy. If Connor Murphy like switch roles with Brent Seabrook, so Brent Seabrook won 3 Stanley Cups and might end up getting his number retired, number 7.
I'm familiar.
Connor Murphy, like if we flip those two guys around, might end up being the same guy. Like he played on the Hawks for 9 years and never won and never accomplished anything. The only thing he ever played was in like the 2020 weird extended playoffs, and where they beat the Edmonton Oilers. Funny enough, the team that he ended up getting traded to, and then they got whopped by the Las Vegas Golden Knights. And they also traded Jason Dickinson, who I was a very big fan of. Number 8, a great string of number 8s for the Chicago Blackhawks. One of them being Nick Schmaltz. You remember Nick Schmaltz? What a great player.
I do not.
God, he was awesome. I'm now in the phase of my Blackhawks fandom where it's just like we haven't won in a decade, and so I'm just in love with a bunch of players who have just been under 500 hockey players for their entire career, but you have to like somebody on your team. So that's kind of where we're at. But there we go. It is going to be a fun show today. We're going to talk a lot about Nebraska football. We're going to talk a ton about Creighton. We're going to talk a ton about college basketball. We'll talk a ton about just keeping up with the Jones. I mean, we're kind of in the in the point right now, we're in the transition period a little bit right now, Josh Hudson. Here's what I mean by that. I have been so consumed with Nebraska basketball, and I've been so consumed with Creighton basketball. I've been so consumed with NFL free agency. All these things are going to come to an end at about 3 weeks, right? About 3-4 weeks, we're going to be done.
Make a plan.
Now we have to. I got to start kind of keeping an eye out. Right here, got to keep an eye out for Nebraska baseball. Got to keep an eye out for Omaha baseball, for Creighton baseball. I agreed to join a fantasy baseball league yesterday.
Hello.
A dynasty fantasy baseball league.
This is real commitment.
I don't know what I was thinking. I don't think this is going to end well. But we're going to do it. We're going to try. And we're going to try and have a good show today. We got a lot of great topics. Whoa!
This is hot off the presses, Matt, from Diana Rossini.
Oh, my God.
The Chicago Bears
No!
are finalizing a trade to send DJ Moore to the Bills.
Got a break.
Middays with Matt on 1620 The Zone. Now back to Middays with Matt on 1620 The Zone.
Everybody's favorite, Don Rothstein, came out with an article today. His list of Coach of the Year candidates. Mr. Rothstein has broken down who he believes will be the college basketball coach of the year. It is none other than Fred Hoiberg. He has put him at the very top of the list.
Good pick, John.
He has said, this is what he writes about Fred. He goes, these Huskers, wow, typo. The first word's a typo. These Huskers have never won an NCAA tournament game, but their odds of breaking that streak has drastically went up. What is this writing?
John Rothstein
has drastically gone up this season thanks to the brilliance of Hoiberg. The 53-year-old coach, who was previously the point man for both Chicago Bulls and Iowa State, has done the best coaching job of his career this season and led Nebraska to an unfathomable 25-5 record with 2 more wins. The Huskers will set the program victories, which is currently at 26. So first off, what's unfathomable is the terrible writing that this is. These Huskers, and it's gone up. Secondly, Fred is 53. He looks good for 53. He looks like a really good 53 in my opinion.
53 with a heart condition.
Yes, that is a good point. And he looked great. Other finalists. So I do want to read this. Jon Scheyer of Duke. It is an oversight or an insult. Scheyer has made replacing Mike Krzyzewski look like a seamless transition and still doesn't seem to get nearly the credit he deserves for what he's done in Durham. 1 year after taking his alma mater to the Final Four, Scheyer has the Blue Devils in position to be the top overall seed in the NCAA tournament, despite having 5 new starters. He's 116-24 in 4 seasons since taking over at Duke, and he just recently tied Brad Stevens' record for the amount of wins in 4 seasons. First 4 seasons. I want to bring this up just because I think what Jon Scheyer is doing at Duke doesn't really get enough credit because, and honestly, I've been guilty of this too, along with you, Josh, of like, we talked about Scheyer and be like, look, we can't really give the head coach of Duke the coach of the year because they get so many high-level prospects.
Yeah, I think he's getting the right amount of credit.
And I think we're totally right in that regard. But I'm adding another layer to this, though. We are in an era right now of just sports in general where we have seen so many different legendary coaches, whether it be in the pros or in college, retire. And we've seen a lot of those people who have to take up after them fail. Gerard Mayo failed miserably under, trying to follow Bill Belichick in New England. Kalen DeBoer has not lived up to what Nick Saban kind of set the groundwork to be at Alabama. Kyle Neptune fired from Villanova after taking over for Jay Wright, right? Hubert Davis over in North Carolina, barely made the tournament last year, and until their really good run that they've gone on as of late, things were getting a little bit sketchy, if you will, in North Carolina. Mark Pope has had a really tough year this season.
Yeah,
and there are people questioning whether or not he can really be the guy after John Calipari, because there are a lot of people, and Rob Dowsker and Jeff Goodman are people who believe that Kentucky is the best job in all of college basketball. In an era where we've seen a lot of these legendary coaches step down and move on. Bruce Pearl of Auburn, he had his son take over for him. You think Stephen Pearl's going to last too long over in Alabama? Probably not. Not after this season that they're having. And if he continues to have these seasons, it definitely isn't going to happen.
Well, if you keep getting your daddy to beg for your job on television, it'll go quite well for you.
That's a good point. But I just want to give Jon Scheyer this credit because there are a lot of coaches who have had to be the guy after the guy. And it's really tough being the guy after the guy. Hey, I'm the guy after Connor Happer.
It's tough, isn't it?
I mean, it ain't easy. I mean, Connor ran an incredible show for 4 years, right? It's just one of those things where it's like, it ain't the easiest thing to step into. And I'm not comparing myself to, by any means, to taking over for Mike Krzyzewski. Don't put that on the internet. But Jon Scheyer has done that at Duke and has had a really, really good amount of success, especially in the regular season. And so this is another year where it's like, had a good postseason last year. This is another opportunity for him to, win that national championship and be the prodigal son, if you were, or the prince who was promised, if you will. So I want to give Shire the correct amount of respect there, because I just think he's how hard could it be to be Duke's coach? Sounds like the easiest job in the world. Sounds like anybody can do that. He's done a pretty good job. Dusty May also on this list. Totally agree. I don't know. To go 19-1, if they end up finishing 19-1 in the Big Ten with the amount of quad one wins that they have, and having the second number one seed in the NCAA tournament, it's just going to speak to how great of a year it was for Nebraska and how great of a coaching job it was for Fred Hoiberg. If he beats out a guy like Dusty May, who is very well on his way to losing one game in a Big Ten conference that's going to have 10 bids. You know how insane that is to go 19-1 in a double-digit bid year in the Big Ten conference? That's ridiculous.
Guy's good.
Also, who gets not an honorable mention, but who gets a quick little write-up is, Travis Steele of Miami of Ohio. What has he done this year? Just lead his team to a 30-0 start.
Only guy who hasn't lost.
It's crazy. We are going to have a FOIA today that we are going to read about Miami of Ohio. And actually, we're going to bring this back around locally, because what happened to Miami of Ohio when it came to scheduling non-conference games happened here in Nebraska, happened here in this very state with Omaha men's basketball. What we're going to describe to you as through FOIAs, which was Miami of Ohio having an impossible time of finding power conference opponents to play against, kind of was the same thing with University of Nebraska Omaha, who, had a very difficult time scheduling teams because of the fact that they were really good last year, that they made it to the NCAA tournament and they won the Summit League tournament, and they were bringing back a ton of returning talent. And so we will talk about that and why. I mean, just this whole argument about Miami of Ohio, whether they or not they should be an at-large bid, is just ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous to me. It's exhausting. It's stupid. It's dumb. They haven't lost a game. What are we doing? What are we talking about? I mean, I just didn't think, like, we have this conversation all the time in the college football playoff. I thought we were above this in the NCAA tournament. I thought we were above this in the NCAA bracket, that we're now having this discussion of why do we even play the games? What are we doing? What is going on? So that was just a fun little article from Rothstein. All right, let's talk about what happened yesterday in college basketball. The Wildcats almost did a job for Nebraska. Nick Martinelli, undoubtedly one of the greatest Northwestern basketball players of all time, had his final home game yesterday. That place, by the way, Welsh Ryan Arena for Purdue has been a house of nightmares for them over the last couple of years. Like, it's one of those things where Purdue has literally been the number one team in the country and gone in there and could not make a bucket, could not make a basket. And then they go there the next year, and then they nearly lose that, or they lost that game again. So in 2020, in 2023, Northwestern beat them by a score of 92-88, and beat them twice. And then and they both happened in Northwestern. And yesterday it was going to happen again. And then CJ Cox just willed Purdue to that victory. They went like 10 of 14 or something ridiculous like that. Northwestern, for whatever reason, just kept him open, just kept doubling the ball handler and leaving him wide open in the corner, which I did not understand what they were trying to accomplish the entire game. And Cox just kept hitting the shot, and Northwestern's offense basically just boiled down to, all right, we're going to give the ball to Martinelli and hope he can make twos. But the problem is he was making twos and Cox was making threes. It was stupid. It was dumb. Chris Collins just refused to use his timeouts in critical situations to help Northwestern keep the ball. It was just, it was a calamity at the very end. And as somebody who is, obviously loved Northwestern growing up, but then has obvious rooting interest in Nebraska, because I went there and, you want Nebraska basketball. Like, I think Nebraska basketball is going to get the double bye But I would definitely prefer it if Purdue just lost yesterday, so we didn't have to do the stress of like you have to beat Iowa on Sunday in order to get the double bye. It would have been nice if Northwestern was able to close it out. They weren't. So now, if both Purdue and Illinois win and Nebraska loses, and Nebraska will not get the double bye in the Big Ten tournament, which would be very, very disappointing because it seemed like this team was teed up to not have to play until Friday. And now it looks like if they lose to Iowa, they very much put themselves in that position to have to play the day before, which would be very, 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 very disappointing and kind of slightly annoying. Not kind of. It would be annoying.
Probably shouldn't have laid an egg against UCLA.
Well, that's the one thing. You laid an egg against UCLA. And I told you, just win this game so we don't have to leave it up for chance. Like it's one thing to control your own destiny. It's one thing to have two games can control your own destiny. You have two, because most of the time we say, oh, they control their own destiny. Well, it's one game. That's still tough. It's still tough to win that high-pressured, high-stress one game to really dictate where you go. The fact that you have two opportunities to do that, if you are, a top caliber team that we think you are that can get to the second weekend potentially, you should be able to beat one of a bubble UCLA team on the road or an Iowa team at home. You should win one of those games. And I'm not going to be the guy that overreacts to one game in a basketball season. I will be the guy, though, that when we get to the Big Ten tournament, if they were to lose to Iowa, to look around and be like, when was the last time this team really beat a high-quality basketball team? Be quite a while if they don't win this Iowa game. And yesterday I was going to say, USC might be a potential NCAA tournament team. They lost yesterday to Washington. So I don't think they're going to the NCAA tournament either. So that was an interesting game yesterday, Northwestern versus Purdue. Would have been big if Northwestern were able to pull that win out for Nebraska to get them to the double bye. It did not occur. The Huskers control their own destiny this Sunday. Arkansas defeated Texas. So is Arkansas team they're ranked 20th right now in the AP bracket, or in the AP top 25 poll. According to Bracket Matrix, they are a 5 seed, below Vanderbilt and ahead of North Carolina. I look at this Arkansas team. They might be that Cinderella story. That not the Cinderella. So let me correct this. The Cinderella story to me is like a double-digit seed, but they might be that 5 seed that makes a lot of noise. They might be that kind of middle seed, that 4 through 7 seed that ends up getting to the Elite Eight, because when we're identifying, teams that are going to make runs, what is kind of one of those archetype kind of players that lead teams to run? Well, it's that point guard that makes everything. It's that point guard that controls the game. It's the point guard that just takes over. You saw it last year with Walter Clayton with Florida. I think Houston, Kingston Fleming could fit that role. Houston, number 2 seed. They escaped Baylor yesterday. They were at home in that game, but got pushed to the limit against the Bears, ended up winning that one. But Darius Acuff, absolutely phenomenal yesterday in Arkansas's 20-point win against Texas. Sean Miller called him the best player he's ever seen, which is wild. Had 28 points yesterday. Just absolutely incredible. Calipari, man, I mean, it's hard to bet against Cal. This Arkansas team, they're big, they're athletic, they're long, they play fast, and they got a really, really good point guard who can take over the game at any point. I like Arkansas. I think I'm going to have Arkansas go pretty deep in the NCAA tournament.
Arkansas guy.
They've won 6 of their last 8 games. One of those losses was in double overtime against Alabama. Do you remember that game? That was an awesome game.
I do remember the double overtime game.
That was a sick game that they were so close to winning at the very end. They almost sent it to triple overtime, if I'm not mistaken.
Should have went to triple, yeah.
And then they got the brakes beaten off them by Florida. It happens. But 6 of the last 8 wins for Arkansas. Big win yesterday against Texas. Texas was a team, and we talked about this yesterday on Blue Jay Overtime, because we were just going through the country. Like, we're kind of in the point of the year where it's like, if you are a 8, 9, or 10 seed, you're one quad one win away from locking yourself in the tournament, essentially. You win that one last big game, you're good to go. That was Texas's opportunity yesterday against Arkansas. They let it slip. So see if they get those opportunities again in the SEC tournament. Alrighty, we're gonna hit a break and we're gonna talk to one of our favorites, Stephen M. Sipple of On 3 and Husker Online. Coming up next here on Middays with Matt on 1620 The Zone.
Middays with Matt on 1620 The Zone.
We bring in one of our favorites from Husker Online, 93.7 The Ticket, and On 3, Mr. Stephen M. Sipple. Sip, how are you, my friend?
How's the show going?
It's going well. It's going well. Getting comfortable with it, getting loose in the pocket. You know, we are on schedule a lot, but we want to make our plays off schedule as well. And so we're really we're making some magic happen here on the microphones, if you will. I appreciate the question.
That is a admirable analogy.
Thank you.
Good job.
Thank you. Well, I was just harnessing my inner Anthony Colandrea. It is a Thursday today, Mr. Stephen M. Sipple, which means that it's a This Week in Women's History Thursday here on Middays with Matt, where my great producer Josh Odson goes through women of the 70s, 80s, and 90s, and kind of informs me on the impact that they had on society. Is there a woman that shaped your life, or a celebrity crush, if you will, or an actress you loved, or anything like that from the 70s, 80s, and 90s that you think I should be informed about?
Oh, there's a question. Martha and the Vandellas. You YouTube her, you'll understand why. Great. I mean, just an incredible act. The Martha and Vandellas were incredible. And if I'm having a bad day, sometimes I'll just whip up there's a few songs that she does live, and it was just a better time. It was a lot more innocent, and she's gorgeous, and it just kind of helps your day. What's the song I'm thinking?
Martha and the Vandellas. It's an American girl group formed in Detroit, Michigan in 1957.
Oh, pure Motown, yeah. And Martha was just adorable. Heat Wave is that if you would YouTube the song Heat Wave live,
yeah,
that's what I'll do sometimes. Just watch that for a few times, and I feel pretty good.
Incredibly cultured of you, Mr. Steve Sipple. This is awesome. You're a Motown guy?
Oh God, yes. Yeah. And a lot of the female artists I like Diana Ross, Aretha Franklin.
Wow.
But I like the OJs and the Spinners and all that too. But I just like that Motown. And Martha, I just always thought she was incredibly talented. So and that's going back a long time, probably 20 years of that.
Okay. Wow. And then Quicksand, were you a fan of Quicksand?
Yeah, all of them, all of her hits. But
very good to know. Very good.
Yeah. So that would be the one I'd say.
When we make your intro for this spot here at Middays with Matt, we'll make it Motown theme for you. I'm very excited.
Oh God, that'd be great. Yeah,
yes, I know.
Martha there.
I just listened to your open for Chris Basnet when he came on Sportsmanlike Conduct. Do you remember that? Do you remember recording that where you say Chris is just a friend? You say Chris is just a friend. Oh baby. Yeah. Do you want to recant that real quick? Do you remember any of the lines?
I don't want to recant it. No, Chris. No, that was good. Those opens in that building were incredible.
They were incredible.
And Chris is a great friend. I'd never want to go back on. Keep it as it is.
Okay, we'll do. I appreciate that, Steve. Let's talk about things that we appreciated yesterday. You were at the press conferences of Anthony Colandrea, Mr. EJ Barthel, Glenn Thomas spoke, Quentin Ives spoke, Danny Kaelin spoke, TJ Lateef spoke. Is there anything that you truly appreciated? You were sitting there and you're like, wow, I really like that answer. Or, I like this guy's chutzpah. I like how he carries himself. Did he have any of those moments?
Yeah, I thought it was one of the better media sessions that I can remember. I mean, not like bowl me over, affect my life, but there was a lot in that press conference across multiple guys. The two most impressive to me were EJ Barthel and Lateef. I thought there was just, Barthel, if you go back and listen to it, there's, from really the start, it's like bam, 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 bam info. Like, that's good info. Quentin Ives, now it was later, but Quentin Ives is the best blocker. That's an example.
Sure.
Jamal Rule proceeds with a chip on his shoulder because Nebraska was the only Power 4 offer, the first Power 4 offer, and maybe the only one. Ives, right off the bat, he said, we told him he needed to step up in December. Okay. That's really information. That's great information. They told Ives basically it's time. And you can surmise that based on what Barthel said and based on what Holgerson said, which was, had Ives not stepped up, we probably would have gone in the portal. Great information.
Yep.
Mekhi Nelson needed to get kind of clean up off the field. Great information. And that they're asking to play between 195 and 205. That's good specific information that you wonder about a back who's a little undersized. And then I just thought Lateef was extraordinary.
Right. Yeah.
Like saying he never considered leaving. Now it was a little gray, and if I had the opportunity, I'd follow up. it sounded like that there wasn't interest. He didn't receive any interest from anybody, which I don't believe.
I don't believe that either. He said that there wasn't any sort of third-party interest or no one inadvertently contacted him. I go, really? Really?
No, here's what I think. I re-listened to it. I think it might be that he didn't hear it. Like there was intermediaries he has.
I gotcha. And it never got back to him.
Never got to him because he wasn't interested. I can't believe there was nobody interested.
Neither can I. Neither can I.
Yeah.
I agree.
But forget that. He said he never considered leaving. That's valuable. That's really valuable, I would think, for a fan base to hear. TJ Lateef say, I never considered leaving. You know? And then of course there was Anthony Colandrea's appearance, and that was great too. I mean, it was what I appreciate about Colandrea is he really lands the helicopter well.
He does.
He doesn't go on and he just answers your questions quickly. And I thought it was good. I just thought it was amazingly productive.
I think Colandrea carries himself like a dude. There's one thing to be a dude on the field and another thing to carry yourself like a dude. I think he does that.
I think he does. I mean, Matt's kind of a limited window, but I do think I think you're right.
Yeah.
I'm skeptical of everything, but yeah, I think he does.
Do you get any like 2023 vibes from this roster in the regard of how it's built in a way? Do you think there are a lot of similarities between how this roster has been constructed in terms of dual threat quarterback, new defensive system, kind of one of those things too, where it's like there's some weird similarities between the fact that your quarterback is a transfer who had turnover problems in the ACC and also the running back by committee as well. 2023 was kind of like that. Do you see some of those similarities in this roster?
You'd have to convince me a little more.
Okay.
I doubt it was planned that way.
Do you think that it is a little curious, though, that this roster is kind of built similarly towards the one season where they didn't have Dylan?
Give me some names. I'm trying to think.
So we're talking about this, right? They bring in Tony White in 2023 outside of defensive coordinator hire with kind of a system that you're curious of how it's going to look like in the Big Ten. You have that with Rob Orich and the 4-2-5.
Yeah.
You have a transfer portal quarterback who can run the ball, can throw the ball, has an active arm, but the knock on him was when he played Power 5 football, he could turn the ball over. Jeff Sims and Anthony Colandrea.
It was Casey Thompson. Is that who we're talking about?
No, we're talking about Sims. Remember 2023 with Sims?
Oh God. Yeah. Okay. Jesus. Yes. 2023. Running back by committee.
Running back by committee. Right. I think the only difference is that the O-line, you could say, I mean, the way they talked about the O-line yesterday, Sip, does that fire you up?
Yeah. Back to your question. I'd say if their vibes I would say they're unintentional vibes, but yeah, sure. I mean, there's some similarities. Yeah, the offensive line discussion coupled with, I heard Jamar Mosey, who's an assistant head coach, Isaiah's father, speak at an event in Lincoln last week. And his strongest words of praise were for Colandrea and the offensive line. So you're starting to, there's a lot of praise for that line. There was yesterday from multiple people. So couple what I heard yesterday with what Jamar Mosey said. Yeah, it's on my mind at least. You don't want to go. Nobody wants us to go overboard. We understand that. But
you're right.
But those three. What Mosey said was essentially they added 3 NFL guys. Okay, so 3, and really I think he was mainly talking about Babalade and Black, but they beat Alabama for Mubenga, and then Damon Benning, our friend, Damon in another instance, I was on a show with him, and he said, you know what? He thinks Mubenga's the best of the 3.
Wow.
So, yeah, you're having some discourse now that where there's a lot of praise directed at that group. Again, I know how fans react when we have these conversations. I respect that, but there is that, and that's I regard it as encouraging.
I love the talk about how athletic they are. I love that. I love the talk about how they can run. I think that's I jump to that. I gravitate towards that. Towards they have some legitimate athleticism up front. I think that's what kind of strikes me.
Yeah, as long as they're tough as hell too. They got to be tougher than holy hell in that league, and that's what you hope.
You had a really good pod with your colleague Sean Callahan, Husker Online Headlines. We actually talked about one of the things that you guys said on that podcast about things that and guys that you hear were popping, that were playing well. You brought up Luke Sorensen, the freshman tight end, that might very well factor in. That's something we're hearing. You talked about Quasi Gilmer and the fact that he's emerging as maybe the number one wide receiver, but Isaiah Hunter isn't necessarily just going to let that happen, right? You talked about, Jamal Rule, potentially popping, and then the offensive line, like you just mentioned right now, that's another thing that people have their eyes on. Here's the one thing, though, Sip. I want to ask you this directly. You bring up all those names, and they all have one thing in common, and that is they're all new. They haven't been on this roster before. They all were acquired, whether it be through the transfer portal or through high school recruiting heading into this season. Is there a potential where, maybe they're popping, but there's also the factor of we haven't seen them make a mistake in a Nebraska uniform yet?
Yeah, of course. 'Tis the season. Yeah,
sure.
And we do that a lot here, and there's definitely that conversation. You get the kind of the benefit of being new anywhere in the world. Right?
Sure. Great point.
Especially in sports. Well, you see it all the time with quarterbacks, where you hear this glowing praise of them until they throw a couple interceptions in a game, and you're behind the 8 ball. And then the conversation with quarterbacks changes so dramatically that it's mind numbing. It amazes me sometimes. All it takes is a couple picks. Oh, he's terrible.
Terrible.
Go to the back. So Colandrea will go through that. I mean, we're going to hear a lot about how great he is, and then he's going to throw some picks, and then what's it? Is he regressing to the norm? He's throwing a lot of picks over time. So, that was harsh. I don't mean regressing to the norm, but is he regressing?
Well, I mean, he's good. There's going to be a jump up in competition, and I think that there definitely is going to be some, learning curves, and I think it'd be a little bit too high of an expectation to think that he's going to have the same exact numbers in the Big Ten that he did in the Mountain West. I think that goes without saying, right? But it's like the hope is that his time at UNLV, the things that he learned, and I love the way he talked about Dan Mullen. I think that speaks very highly of Mullen, but obviously speaks very highly of the relationship that they had. You hope that success and him kind of seeing him develop and get better and seeing the ball go through the hoop, if you will, is going to allow him to, when he goes back up to the Power 5 level, to clean up some of those mistakes he might have made at Virginia.
Absolutely. And I want to tell you, as far as Colandrea goes, I want to be very clear to you and the listeners. He's the most exciting element over there in my mind. I think he's critical to the program right now because it needs an injection of energy. And he represents that in my mind. So let's see what he's got. And also, I loved his answer to my question. I don't think that those guys, I think you'll follow this, he had a very good answer to, I said, well, can you feel like you can run as much in the Big Ten, this rugged, tough, and can you run as much as you did in the Mountain West? I don't think he liked the question, and I respect that. He gave a very short answer. He goes, yes, I got to get first downs and touchdowns. I don't think those Mountain West guys want to hear a lot of, you played in a conference that wasn't physical as another one, And that was the vibe I got from him. And I hope that was his vibe.
I do too.
I'm irritated. I irritate myself with that question because it's kind of naturally demeaning to a conference.
I like his vibe. I like it. I don't know. I don't think he's, and I'm not taking any sort of shots at anybody when I say this. I'm not trying to, but I don't think he's really trying to play any other game other than give you what he thinks is the most genuine, honest answer. You know, like I think he just goes up to that podium and is just like, yeah, this is how I view things. And he just kind of his demeanor and the way he answers the questions. I mean, he carried himself like he's a guy, like he's a dude. And I think I just think you need that at this level of football. I just think you need guys who kind of get annoyed at the question of, do you think you'll be able to play better at a better level? Like, yeah, I do. I'm that guy. I think I'm really good. I agree with you. I'm glad he was annoyed at that question.
Yeah, for what all that's worth. I mean, he's got to go complete 3rd and 6 slant passes. That's when I'll really like what I see.
Oh.
I thought he's good, and he's a grown man, and I think one thing I really rail against is the comparisons to Dylan. I mean, what's Dylan going to look like when he's a senior, when he's a 5th-year senior? That picture's going to look a lot different.
I agree. One more question before we let you go here. Steve Sipple of Husker Online on 3 and 93.7 The Ticket. We're over 1/3 of the way through spring football, which is crazy to think about. And I know, we've read a lot and heard a lot and all that stuff, but is there anything that you're still wanting an answer for? There's still anything that you haven't really heard enough about it? Is there still something you're clamoring to know before spring football wraps up and then we have this kind of long break and then we hit the summer?
Oh God, yes. Yeah, there's a long list.
What is at the top of that long list, Stephen M. Sipple?
How are they in the interior D line? What's that picture look like? How's the pass rush? It starts that's 1 and 2. I mean, what's the pass rush going to look like? How are you going to hold up in the interior against the run? What's going to happen? What's it going to look like when Indiana says, "All right, it's just time. We're gonna hammer away now."
Mm-hmm.
What's it going to look like when Oregon says that? Because they can do it. Both those teams can do it. If you can't resist it, good luck. You'll get blown out. You'll get your doors blown off. And Ohio State can do that. Those top teams, if you're vulnerable in the interior line or on the edge, like Nebraska was last year, what happens? A team like Penn State will bully you for an entire game, and the fan base will come away dismayed. So how's that look?
Sure.
Can you set the edge? I mean, what did Vrabel say at halftime of the game of the Super Bowl? When they weren't defending the run very well, he said, "Well, we gotta build a wall, set the edge, and swarm to the ball." That's when he said that, I just thought, there you go, Nebraska.
Yeah.
Build a wall, set the edge, and swarm to the ball. There's the formula. Now, it's just like Dan Mullen told Colandrea, throw the ball to the open man. Way easier said than done. But in some ways, football's not that complicated. I mean, in some ways.
I love that because I'm like, I think on the surface level, you go, well, no crap, Anthony. Throw the ball to the open guy. But as somebody who watched, the quarterback last year and then who's also watched Caleb Williams for the Bears, that's not always happening. Where there is a guy wide open, but instead they're looking down the field looking for more yardage or for the home run ball or whatever it may be when they got a guy right in front of them. No, just throw the check down. Checkdowns can win you games.
100%.
So
Kellen Moore was a master at that. I mean, some guys. No, it's not all bad. Some guys want to wedge a ball in there and get me yards, and sometimes it works out and it's really good. You want them to have some swashbuckling nature to a point that can be good, but generally speaking, you just throw the ball to the open man, pitch and catch. It doesn't have to be overly complicated.
No. I mean, what does what's the famous saying from Tom Moore? 1, 2, 3, throw the MFR away. I mean, we would love to see a lot of that at Nebraska football. So Stephen M. Sipple, thank you so much for joining us. I always appreciate you as always, my friend.
All right, thank you.
All right, talk to you soon. Stephen M. Sipple, Husker Online on 3. Phenomenal conversation as always. Give me more offensive line talk. I want all the O-line talk. I want all the discussions about, these guys are big. I mean, they recruited these guys. They're a legit 6'5" plus, 300 pounds plus. I mean, dudes who have a lot of strength. But then when you add in the talk of Man, they can run. Man, they're pushing guys up front. Man, they're athletic. When you have, I mean, there was a great tweet from Hail Varsity on Twitter that I saw yesterday. It was like a 1.5-minute compilation of everybody talking about just how big and fast these MFers were on the offensive line. Thank the Lord. Like I'm there for it. So when I say Josh Hodgson, my Kool-Aid meter is ticking up a little bit, and I'm going from, and I said, so here's why I described it. I said, I haven't opened up a packet, and all I have is my spoon and I have my pitcher. Okay. Here's where my Kool-Aid meter is at. I've walked over to the sink. I haven't turned the water on.
Oh, okay.
And I haven't put the pitcher under the faucet, but I'm at the sink. That's where I'm at. All right. So it's just a teeny little, I've moved 8 steps.
Hey, 8 steps is 8 steps.
You're
right?
telling me these guys?
It's March 3rd, March 5th.
I'm not trying to I'm not obsessed with the size, and I'm not obsessed with length, and I'm not obsessed with. We're talking about football, Josh Hodgson. Get your mind out of the gutter.
I knew that.
Stop it. Like everybody freaking out about Reuben Bain's like arm length. Like, yeah, there probably is some factors and things that we have to consider in terms of the historical magnitude of like have guys with like 30 and whatever inch arms. Have they really succeeded as a D lineman or defensive ends in the NFL with that length? Not really. But watch the tape. The guy managed with it and was awesome at Miami, right? I don't want to obsess over that, but these guys from Nebraska football that they recruited had the size, like had the prerequisite weight, look like guys who could have a ton of strength. You add in the fact now that people are talking about, man, they're athletic, man, they can run. Yeah, I'm taking 8 steps over the sink and about to turn that faucet on. Because if you're going to be successful, it's the low-hanging fruit, and it's super easy to say, but it's super easy to say because it's a fact. If you're going to win in the Big Ten, you have to have a good offensive line. And if you're going to go running back by committee where you don't necessarily have a Doak Walker Award type guy in Emmett Johnson, you're going to need an offensive line that's going to make, the holes a little bit, bigger and things a little bit easier for your running backs. I love to hear the O-line talk. Give me more O-line talk. We'll give you more Nebraska football talk coming up next because I think there are some similarities between how they've built this roster this year compared to how they've built it in years past. And I think it's a little encouraging for me. I think I kind of like some of the similarities I'm seeing between this roster and some rosters in the past. And I'll tell you exactly why. Coming up next here on 1620 The Zone.
Now back to Middays with Matt on 1620 The Zone.
All right, DJ Moore got traded from the Bears. Still don't know any draft compensation to be had.
You seemed like you weren't ready to discuss that.
Well, we had Sip on, so we had to talk to him, and then we were talking about Nebraska football. Yeah, it's fine. You know, I part of the reason I was a little disappointed was because I thought he might be involved in a Crosby trade.
Okay. I have the pick swaps that if you're ready for.
Oh, I'm ready. Please give it to me.
Buffalo gets DJ Moore and a 2026 fifth round pick. Chicago gets the upcoming second round pick.
Whoa, in 2026?
That's correct. Yes.
Whoa. All right. All right. Making up for that BS Claypool trade we made all those years ago.
What
I'll get it. I'll take it.
Can you probably can't lump those two twos together and move into the first round.
We don't need to. We don't need to. It's fine. I guess we're not going to get our compensatory draft picks for developing Ian Cunningham into a general manager who's going to make all the decisions for the Atlanta Falcons, even though that's a hunk of crap. But Tremaine Edmonds will probably get traded and nab another mid-round pick for the Bears. I like it. I also like for the Bears, too, because they're going to clear up some cap space. They're going to free up, I think, another like $14 million in cap, which they were barely over the cap after what's his name, Dahlman retired. They just got over the cap after he retired, and then now they're going to be really over the cap because DJ Moore got traded and Buffalo's taking on all the salary. Bears aren't paying any of that, which is great. And then on top of that, when they trade Tremaine, if they trade him just for a pick, then you clear up more cap space, and then they can potentially restructure deals. So maybe they're giving themselves more room to sign maybe Tyler Lindenbaum, the center out of Baltimore, along with trading for Max Crosby. How about that? How about that spin zone? Huh? Probably not going to happen. We'll probably, sign another like 31-year-old defensive lineman for way too much money, and he won't make an impact as much as he should have. Shout out Grady Jarrett. Yeah, that's what, and Albert Breer, by the way, is reporting this. He goes, the Bears have cleared up a bunch of cap room this week with Dahlman retiring and DJ Moore traded. We mentioned earlier that they've shown some interest in Lindenbaum and Max Crosby. Stay tuned. Why would Albert Breer tweet something like that? Can we do the Brian Windhorst?
Bigger question, why would you read the tweets of a dead man?
He is dead to us. Until he comes on the show. Then he can be resurrected. Have we put Nick Stauskas on the alive to us list?
He's the only one on that list right now,
he
if
is
I remember
currently.
correctly.
And he also, I don't think, has tweeted since the Michigan-Nebraska game. Jacob Bigelow, what did you do?
He bodied that man.
It's over. I mean, it was done. He ended Nick Stauskas' career. That, and by the way, Jacob Bigelow picked the dog of the day yesterday. Colorado State, shout out.
Whoa.
I know.
They've won like 1 million games in a row something.
Yeah. Here's another thing. I'm going to put this out there. Dog of the day has been struggling recently. Take this as a call for help. If you...
No. Just fade the dog of the day and you're good to go.
No, but that's easy because fading the dog of the day gives you the opportunity, a higher chance to win. It's a dog for a reason. What I'm saying, though, is that if you have like a mortal lock, if you contact me and you're like, Matt, let me tell you, this team's going to win, I'm going to use that pick. But if I use that pick and you end up being wrong, do you know what that means, Josh Hodson? Dead to us. An automatic ticket to the dead to us list if you give me a pick for dog of the day and you end up losing. Now, if you end up winning, we'll put you on the alive to us list. So there we go. We'll put that out there. So if you want to help, you're more than welcome to help. Real quick, before we get into the odd news that'll happen at 11:50 today, I'm seeing some similarities between this 2026 roster and the 2023 Nebraska football roster. I'm seeing some legitimate similarities between how they've built this roster. And I think it's a little telling because when they came in 2023, Matt Rule and his staff, what I appreciated about them is that they had a clear image of what they wanted. They had a clear image of what they wanted to be, what their identity wanted to be. They talked about being dynamic on special teams. They talked about running the football. They talked about running the football from both the quarterback perspective and the running back perspective. They talked about having 75 rushing yards in the fourth quarter, right? They came in and I got the vibe, and they talked a lot about Iowa football in 2023. And to me, what they were communicating was, we want to be the Ohio State of Iowa football. We look at somebody who's not too far away from us in the Midwest and how they play against Big Ten teams and the style of play that they have. We want to imitate that style of play. We want to be physical. We want to win in the trenches. We want to run the football. We want to control the clock. We want to be dynamic on special teams, and we want to be multiple in how we're at the quarterback position. Right? They showed me a vision of what they wanted this program to look like in 2023, and they built that roster that way. They brought in Tony White because they believed that his 3-3-5, his defensive system, was going to work in the Big Ten. It did when Tony was the coach. They brought in Jeff Sims because they wanted to have a running quarterback and they believed in his talent and his ability. They went running back by committee, right? And, you know, they tried playing a physical brand of football. Now, they made a big mistake. That big mistake was when they picked the wrong quarterback. They just straight up. Okay? They played really good defense. You know, the run game was fine. It wasn't bad, but it was fine. But they gave themselves ample opportunity to go to a bowl game, to go to the postseason. And if it weren't for poor quarterback play in the Michigan State game, if it weren't for poor quarterback play in the blanking here, in the Maryland game, right? If it weren't for just not getting that one position right, once again, if it weren't for poor quarterback play in the Minnesota game, they end up making a bowl game in 2023. And then 2024 came along, 2025 came along. And they could never, and I know when Dylan left, we had this conversation of like, should they have taken on Kyle McCord, right? Like Kyle McCord seemed like he was on his way to Nebraska, and instead they took Dylan Raiola. There was no world in which they were going to say no to Dylan Raiola. That was not going to happen, okay? So they took Dylan, but Dylan really didn't fit kind of that identity of what they were going for in 2023, right? He wasn't an athletic quarterback. He wasn't a mobile quarterback. His best attributes was supposed to be passing in the pocket, right? You needed a run game, not necessarily because you wanted to dominate in the run. You wanted to establish presence. You wanted a run game so you could open up more in the pass game, right? So you could, make things a little bit easier and make the defense guessing a little bit more when you decided to drop back and pass the ball. And you needed to invest a lot in wide receivers because you needed those wide receivers to catch for Dylan. And that wasn't really anything similar to what they were trying to build in 2023. I find it very interesting that now that Dylan's gone, they go, okay, we're going to kind of build this roster the same way. We're going to get a quarterback who, he had turnover issues in the ACC, but he's dynamic. He's got a really good arm, and he can make plays on his feet. Okay, hey, we're going to invest on the offensive line because we want to win in the trenches. We want to win up front. We're going to get Mbanga. We're going to get Brendan Black. We're going to keep Justin Evans. We're going to go and get Tree Babalade. We're going to hope that Elijah Pritchett continues to improve. Okay, hey, we're not going to invest a lot in the running back room. We're not going to go ahead and go to the transfer portal and pick up a shiny new running back and use our resources there. We're going to do it by committee. We got a bunch of guys we trust, and we trust DJ Barthel that he's going to develop them. And he's going to have them effective enough and ready to run. And hey, we're going to make an outside hire at defensive coordinator. He's going to bring in his system. He's going to bring in a couple of his guys, and he's going to try and turn this defense around with the 4-2-5. They're doing a lot of the same things they did in 2023 from a roster construction standpoint. But here's the difference. They have 3 years of Big Ten coaching experience under their belt now. They came in 2023 with the idea of, okay, this is what we think can work in the Big Ten, but we haven't coached in the Big Ten before. Like, we don't have Big Ten experience. Now you got 3 years of Big Ten coaching experience. Now you have a better idea of what that system can look like and how that roster construction can be effective in 2026. And they've done a lot of the same things. And so I think the fact that they're have a lot of similarities from 2023 to 2026 now, it tells me that, okay, This is their vision. This is their idea. They're not adjusting to anything other than what they believe can win. And that conviction and that belief in tow gives me a little bit more belief of what they can do next season. I like that I can see what they're trying to do. I can see their path. I think in 2024 and 2025, they were a little bit reactionary in terms of how they had to build the roster around a certain player and his archetype on one side of the ball. And they were very married to a certain defensive system. This season, I think they are pursuing the vision that they want to have on offense. That's their personal vision. And then on defense, they're handing the keys off to a guy and saying, it worked over there. We believe it can work here. Go to work, my man. I like that. I'm a fan of that. I'm also a big fan of the Odd News with Josh Oddson coming up next here on 1620 The Zone.
Middays with Matt on 1620 The Zone.
And now we've reached the point in the show where Josh Oddson reads the peculiar, the bizarre, the comical, the odd news with Oddson. Odd news, Oddson. See what we did there? The odd news with Oddson.
Hey, it's lunchtime here on 1620 The Zone, so we're going to have the Odd News with Josh Oddson. After this, by the way, we'd love to take your calls, 402-951-1620. That's the Prairie Flower Casino hotline. Prairie Flower Casino, play longer, win more. And don't forget to email us at the Equitable Bank inbox, Equitable Bank, They take banking. Personally, pick them on the first ring. Old man Doug, shout out. Alex Sindelar, time to have your lunch. Josh Otson, time to tell me the odd news.
Get your bento boxes out, kids.
I love it. How many bento boxes have you had?
None.
They're great.
They sound great. I didn't have the mother that would prep me a bento box. She packed a lunch.
A poke bowl.
Oh, so good. Let me tell you.
Have you ever had a bad poke bowl? I have not.
I've had poke bowls that weren't as good as other poke bowls I've had.
Sure. There definitely is. Should we do power rankings through tiers with poke bowls?
They closed my poke spot.
Where was your poke
years
spot?
Ago. It was by the sinkhole.
By the sinkhole. Oh, 67th and Pacific?
Yeah, next to Legends there.
They closed my steak spot. And they closed my seafood spot. I'm really a true Omahan now.
You're the real
I
kiss
have
of death on these restaurants.
I am, man. It's Sandpoint, Jericho's. What the hell? Come on. I really like their food. What the hell are you doing closing down? You got a new customer. I don't want to go to Yoshitomo because I'm nervous.
Oh, because
everybody keeps talking about Yoshitomo.
Yeah.
The last sushi restaurant I went to that isn't the one I frequent all the time was Sakurabana. That closed. That closed down. Sakurabana. It was a sushi spot. I don't want to do that to Koji. I know how much you love Koji.
I do. Best bite of food in the city.
Now I've put the label on myself that if you see me walking in, get nervous. We don't want your business here.
Oh no, he's here.
Go ahead, Josh.
We go to California State University, Bakersfield, where the men's basketball program had a bomb dropped on them. Not literally.
Okay. I don't know if that's very appropriate to use in this current times.
They are.
Josh
That's
Otson.
true, I guess. I should have been
You
more.
should have thought more.
Yeah.
Use your brain, man.
I know. Last place in the Big West this year, but
okay. All right.
when it comes to scandal, they're number one.
Yes. What infidelity are we talking about?
As their athletic department has been in upheaval since August 29th when the men's basketball coach Rod Barnes opened an anonymous email from a tipster who alleged that Barnes' temporary assistant coach, Kevin Mays, was also working as a pimp across 4 states. Other lawsuits, internal investigations, dismissals, and finger-pointing followed. In the email, the tipster, identified as a woman whom Mays allegedly pimped for several months, all caps, "Fix it or the whole staff will fall," the tipster wrote, adding that the email was a first and final warning. Barnes forwarded the email to the university's Human Resources Office, which sent it to university police, triggering an investigation. Wow. Mays has pled not guilty on all charges. He is being held without bail, though. He has a hefty rap sheet featuring 11 criminal and misdemeanor charges, including felonies such as pimping.
Hayes Bees better be wearing jimmies. Hey, what do they say? Pimping ain't easy.
That's right.
What's harder? Being an assistant? It is a poll question Thursday.
It is.
What's harder? Being an assistant football coach or pimping?
I
don't know,
This
man.
is an assistant basketball coach.
Okay, assistant basketball. Is it harder to be an assistant basketball coach or pimping?
Yeah. That's a good one. I might have to put that up there.
PC goes, have we brought back calling things pimp yet? Was this a thing?
Oh, yeah. In the late 90s, early 2000s, if something was cool, you'd be like, oh, that's pimp.
That's pimp?
Mm-hmm.
I've heard of I pimped it out. You know, like I pimped out my sports car.
Sure.
Or like I pimped on the rims or something. But that's pimp?
Yeah. No, we used to say that. That used to be a thing.
Wow. Okay.
That left my mouth.
Wow. Really? Regularly?
Ooh. I don't have the, what would you call it? Cool factor?
Sure. Yeah. You weren't. You weren't.
But cool. I did say it from time to time.
You weren't the Carson Daly of Omaha Burke.
I was not. Put me in the Hall of Fame, cowards. Bet you won't.
Yeah, I was a little too late for cuh. Like I was a little bit too young for cuh, but bruh or bet or type S.
My 7-year-old says bet.
Well, yeah, bet or like type shh, you know,
Okay.
type shh, you know. That's kind of where I grew up. Or dank or dope. I say dope a lot. That's dope. There you go. but that's pimp. Never heard that. What's our second story?
That is up on the Twitter page at Middays with Matt, which is more difficult, NCAA assistant men's basketball coach or pimpin'?
Pimpin'.
They've started spring football in Gainesville. That's Florida.
All right.
The swamp.
Oh,
Do you know what you do on the first day of spring ball?
Probably just run around in shorts. I don't know. We should probably ask some of our former. I've never participated in spring football.
A lot of you'd think it's offensive install.
Probably you're probably just doing
watching tape, filling out name tags, paperwork. But it's actually a lot of photographs.
Paperwork. Okay.
Well, you got to onboard.
Oh, is this John Summerall and the Gator?
Yeah.
Yeah, we did this yesterday.
Did this yesterday? Okay, we'll skip it because I didn't love it to begin with.
Well, you know what? It was one of those things where it's like, yeah, John Summerall, if you put yourself next to a Gator, what is the Gator going to do?
The Gator thinks you're food.
That was a great segue, though, from pimping to a Gator, because Gators better be wearing jimmies.
There you go.
You're very welcome. I've seen that movie before.
Okay.
Do you know yesterday on the crossover, they shamed me for not seeing a movie. And then they asked me if I've seen another movie, another different movie. And I said, yeah, I've seen that once. And then they shamed me for only seeing that movie once. What is it?
What were the two movies?
Billy Madison, I've never seen.
Okay.
And I only saw Happy Gilmore once. But how can you shame me for only seeing a movie? I saw the movie.
You saw the movie. That's the end of it.
You know, the guy from Kiss puts his tongue down the throat of the love interest.
That's right. That did happen in that
does
movie.
happen.
I had forgotten.
Yeah, everybody forgets.
Have you seen Ace Ventura?
Pet Detective.
Yes. Have you seen its sequel, When Nature Calls?
I have not.
Okay, you're not missing anything there.
Okay.
But there is one scene where Jim Carrey exits a rhino.
Like what? Like comes out of its butt?
That's correct.
Okay.
He was
using
a mechanical rhino as a stakeout vehicle in the Serengeti or something, not to stereotype, but the jungle,
All right. Continue.
And a family of onlookers sees Jim Carrey exiting the rhino, and they try and teach the children that this is a live birth they're witnessing, and what an educational, how lucky they are to witness such a miracle.
Sure.
That mechanical rhino is up for auction. Currently has 14 bids. It's up to $6,000.
That is ridiculous. How big is this rhino?
I don't know. How big is a rhino?
Poll question.
It is expected.
Why would you buy that?
Come on.
Are there movie props that you have that an idea of that you would buy? I would buy this movie.
Now, this is a great question.
If I had FU money, I think it's the most basic ass answer as to what I would buy.
Okay, I do have the dimensions of the rhino, and then I will try and answer your question.
What are the dimensions?
128 inches by 60 inches by 80 inches.
So 10 by 5 by 7?
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
There's a chair inside the rhino, so.
Oh, that makes it better?
Yeah.
6,000. I thought it would go for a little bit more.
It's expected to fetch 8 when it's all said and done
you
later
know what?
this week.
If you really like Ace Ventura,
this would be quite the keepsake.
I'm going to be real with you. If I had too much money to spend and I really liked Ace Ventura, I would be interested.
Where now, Matt, this is going to be a reference that goes over your head.
But aren't they all?
The older people in Omaha will recognize this. Where are the Richmond Gordman slides located? Whoever has those needs to add the Ace Ventura Rhino to their collection.
You done with that?
Yeah, I'm done. That's all I needed to say.
Cool. We'll just wait for answers to come in about.
Movie props that I would want.
Probably Skywalker's lightsaber, right?
Okay, that would be cool. Yeah, sure.
Or if I could get the speeder from A New Hope, that they drive in, and he goes, "You don't need to see identification." That one, that'd be cool.
Okay,
that'd be pretty great. I would also love Thor's hammer. One of the Mjolnirs, that'd be pretty dope. Or the Coca-Cola can that Chris Pratt drank out of in that Jurassic Park: A New World. That specific Coca-Cola can, the most obvious product placement of all time in movie history. I would like that. Or the door from Titanic that Rose.
Oh, that's a good one.
That Rose definitely could have let Jack hop on. And
she was a selfish lady there.
She was the worst. Rose was the true villain of that movie, not the iceberg.
Take.
Or is there anything from The Blind Side that was a prop that we could get?
I mean, I'm sure there's like a helmet from one of the schools.
Maybe Michael Orr's adoption papers.
Hey, what's that, Matt? Oh, it's
Michael Orr's adoption papers.
Oh, it's real adoption paper? No,
Yeah.
it's from the movie.
It was a prop. I love that movie.
I would want. Okay, I got it. I would
All right,
want
you got it.
a talk boy from Home Alone 2. Now I know they sold those as toys after the movie came out.
What's a talk boy?
But I want one. It's a tape recorder that has like a microphone on the end of it.
Oh, you know what? I would like the snow globe from the Santa Claus.
Okay.
Scott Calvin's snow globe from the Santa Claus. Or Jack Frost's snow globe from the Santa Claus 3.
Santa Claus 3.
3. The Santa Claus 3.
Okay.
With Martin Short. Do you remember that one?
I remember it existing.
Chestnuts roasting by an open fire.
That's where everyone knows that song from.
Jack Frost nipping at your nose. Can you say that line again? Jack Frost nipping. Say that. Yeah, say that line again. Over and over again. Come on, you don't like the Santa Claus 3? That's a Matt McMaster classic.
Okay, good to know.
You know, like the 25 Days of Christmas that they would have on like True. Well, what was it? The TLC, and then it became like Freeform, whatever.
Huh?
We were 25 Days of Christmas. Like every day, we would sit down and watch.
That tracks with the Rudolph stuff in your yard.
Yeah, the thousands of dollars of Rudolph.
Your
wooden
inheritance
carvings.
going to your front yard.
It's going to firewood, is what it's going to go to. See, you bring that thing up, and then I immediately get mad about it. It just
I don't
makes
do
me
it to
mad.
trigger you.
Well, yeah, it would pay off my student loans. Instead, we got to have wooden carvings of Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. And then we got Connor Happer, who comes on this radio show and supports it. And then my dad listens to the show and thinks Connor Happer's cool. It's ridiculous. All right, we can move on. We don't have to make it about me.
Well, I mean, it is your name in the show.
You're damn right it is. And coming up next, we're going to talk about FOIAs. Do you know why? Because I want to talk about FOIAs here on 1620 The Zone.
Now, back to Middays with Matt on 1620 The Zone.
All right, we actually have some really great comments on a question that I didn't think would become a fun little thing to do. I didn't even anticipate asking it. Which, by the way, that's how the best things happen. That's how This Week in Women's History occurred, which is going to happen at 12:45 today. Do not forget.
I got the list.
Wow. All right. I was going to say to email in more actresses and people that you would like Josh O to educate me about.
We might not get them in today, but we will get them in.
This is not, and by the way, This Week in Women's History is not a crass segment about hot or not.
That's right.
Smash or pass or anything like that. We are the most progressive show on 1620 The Zone. Everybody knows that.
You're hearing it more and more.
We are the blue collar progressive horny show here on 1620 The Zone. That's what we're known for.
Weird needle to thread.
And we are threading that needle better than anyone ever has before, might I add.
No one's tried.
No one's tried and no one will and no one's thought to. But you know what? That's what we do here on Middays with Matt. So don't forget on the Equitable Bank inbox where they take banking personally and always pick up on the first ring to email the women through the decades that you would love Josh Hodson to educate me on. Also, too, we want to shout out Platt Cat, who is at the mothership right now by Prairie Flower Casino. Prairie Flower Casino. Play longer, win more. 402-951-1620 is the number if you want to talk to us. Man, if you haven't been to Prairie Flower Casino, hell of a casino to go to. Got great food there. Got a great bar there. Has an awesome setup with a bunch of TVs. They just put in some table games over there. The slot machines always cooking nice and clean, great carpet. Prairie Flower Casino. Play longer, win more. Okay, let's go to the comments. I asked Josh Hodson specifically, is there a movie set prop item that he would like? If you could pick any movie set prop item that you would like to have in your personal collection, what would that be? Josh, you said, what would you say again? You said a
talk boy from Home Alone 2.
Yes, and I said Michael Orr's adoption papers from The Blind Side, along with the snow globe from the Santa Claus. Chance writes in, I'd like the T-Rex animatronic from Jurassic Park. That's a lot of Jurassic Park here. Hank goes, the Barbasol can in the first Jurassic Park.
Oh, that's a good one. Hank, great pick.
I haven't seen Jurassic Park.
You should do that.
Okay, thank you. Let's see here. Husker Alex goes, the Santa Claus snow globe is actually a really good one. For the first time, I'm impressed, Matt. Well, thank you, Husker Alex. It's so very kind of you. We go to the text line. John with an H goes, I'm buying the DeLorean from Back to the Future or the Ferrari from Ferris Bueller's Day Off. You can't do that nowadays, right? Like put your car in reverse to get the miles back to where they were. That's I don't think it works thing. Like that. Yeah, that's kind of crazy that was the thing. Dude, when that car crashed, my heart dropped. I haven't seen that movie in forever. Is Ferris Bueller's Day Off a really good rewatchable movie?
Yes, it is.
Okay.
It's my mom's favorite movie.
Really? Did not know that. Mine is what do you think my mom's favorite movie is? She was born in the 70s. This should be easy for you.
Born in the 70s.
Born in the 70s.
Your mom.
Your typical woman's woman. She loves this is a very big woman movie to love.
9 to 5?
Breakfast at Tiffany's.
Okay.
Very stereotypical there. I mean, very, very, very dumb.
Would love to talk to your mom about this on Wacky Guest Wednesday.
That's not going to happen. She's teaching English as a second language class.
Whoa, hey.
During that time.
Okay.
I know her schedule.
I mean, there's 3 months there where we could get her. It's called summer.
Damn it. The 402 texting.
Hi, 402.
It's got to be the Sylvester Stallone's gray hot rod from the movie Cobra.
Cobra, great film.
Okay, I was waiting.
I don't need the car from it.
John with no H.
Hi, John, no H.
Writes in. Does Josh beat his 7-year-old when he says bet?
Do I beat my son?
Yes, that's our question.
Gonna go out publicly and say no to that.
Poll question. Not actually. Matt could eclipse Connor Happer's tenure with a single viewing of Jurassic Park.
He could. They just refuse to put me with a host that's seen Jurassic Park.
And your family loves Jurassic Park.
That's right.
That is like a staple of your household.
I've seen it 1,000,000 times.
I'm sure that I'm going to get a text from your wife about how have I not seen Jurassic Park.
I mean, you're too young.
Well, no, but that's a classic. There are classics that
kids love dinosaurs, no matter what age
like,
they were born.
I should be able to like take some time out and watch classic movies like The Godfather. I saw Goodfellas though.
Goodfellas is terrific.
Marty Cordero texted me.
Hi,
The
Marty.
general manager of the Omaha Storm Chasers. That's how big of a deal I am.
Warner
GM's
Park
on
going to
my
be
phone.
bumping right around the seat.
Dude.
Right around.
Can we get a 1620 The Zone night at Warner Park? Can we get that? Can I throw out the first pitch at an Omaha Storm Chasers game this year? I've always wanted to throw out a first pitch.
I think we could probably make that happen for you. Yes.
Josh and I should throw out the first pitches, and then we should have a competition, and we should have people vote on
No pepper.
first pitch. Marty writes in Han Solo in Carbonite from Return of the Jedi.
Oh, yes.
That'd be a great one. And also, too, Marty responds in Middays with Matt night at Warner Park.
We do that a
Dude,
few
we
times
would
a year.
We would so do that. My mom texts me.
Hi, Mom.
I was on lunch and heard that Josh wants to talk to me. Exclamation point.
That's right, ma'am.
Don't call my mom ma'am. She's too young for that. She's not a ma'am yet. She's a great mother, though.
I've only seen one of her byproducts, but she's done great work. I hear the other one's an idiot, though.
The other one is kind of he's a piece of work. He's got a kid. Oh, what do you do? You know, I mean, the best thing that I did was get a degree, work my way up, get a job, move out, pay my own bills. Best thing he did was have sex. I mean, come on, Mom. You can admit it. You can admit who your favorite is. I'm just saying.
You could have done both.
I don't want to have.
Both of you could have done both.
I don't want to have sex.
Which is why our women's history segment is not about hot or not. Matt isn't interested.
No, I'm not. I'm not crass like that. I'm very. I don't know. I am interested. Stop it. My roommate isn't going to be in the apartment this weekend. I've had this date circled for a while. Continuing on, Mom, don't listen to that part. Matt, what about the big box of pee from 40-Year-Old Virgin? This is a perfect segue. It's the most perfect segue. All righty. Mom, my mom texted me. Stop. Sorry. All right. Let's talk about FOIAs.
Sorry, Mom.
I'm sorry. That was rude. We are the FOIA show.
That's right.
Everybody knows this. This comes from extrapointsmb.com.
It's Matt Brown to you.
Oh, Matt Brown. There you go. Thank you, Josh. He goes, here's a list of everybody Miami of Ohio tried to schedule in men's basketball this season. Don't blame the Red Hawks for not having enough big names on their schedule. They tried to add plenty of them, and I've got proof, says Matt Brown. Here's a funny thing. So I actually, hand to God here, didn't really know that this was a difficulty that mid-major teams had to battle through until I was educated about this from both Jordan Sarnoff at the Omaha Athletic Department, along with Gary Sharp, who is the play-by-play announcer for Omaha men's basketball. It was very difficult this year for Omaha men's basketball to schedule a non-conference slate because they made it to the NCAA tournament, because they had a really good team last season. And then on top of that, they had a really good team last season that, made Omaha's first ever NCAA tournament. But then they brought back a lot of guys. They brought back Grant Stubblefield. They brought back Jay Sean Glover. They brought back Cam Thomas and Tony Osborne and, added Brock Scholl and had a good, brought in Paul Jobay. And there were teams who were Power 5 teams who was like, we don't really want to play you. We don't really have an interest in going up against you. And so they really had to work, to fill out their non-conference schedule. I remember you, Josh, being like, hey, are you guys going to release that schedule yet? We got to get a schedule together for the radio. What's going to happen? And so this is a great article written here by Matt Brown, who just FOIA'd everybody. Goes, all right, here are the teams. So apparently Miami of Ohio emailed Pitt, who was 109th in the net ranking and 100th in Ken Palm. Their athletic director emailed him and said, hey, this is someone of Miami of Ohio emailed them and said, hey, this is Miami of Ohio. We saw your post about needing a guaranteed game on December 7th. I have that date open and would love to play. I have been looking for a regional bye game for the last couple of months. Please let me know. Thanks. Pitt never responded. Pitt hosted Hofstra instead. Miami of Ohio then emailed Wisconsin. Mark, this is Jonathan Holmes at Miami of Ohio. Hope you're doing well. I wanted to reach out to see if you guys are still looking to buy any games. I have several dates open in both November and December. Please let me know if you have any interest in playing. Thanks.
Oh, who did Wisconsin play? I bet they played some barn burners.
No specific dates were given, and no record of any response came from Wisconsin. Now, there is a third email that came from Marquette, but I have to upgrade to extra points and pay a bunch of money to see it. I'm not above paying stupid subscriptions to get very limited access to things. I'm not going to pay for this one. But they emailed Marquette as well, obviously. Did not play Marquette. So, everyone complained about Miami of Ohio not playing good enough teams in their non-conference games. I'll say this. It ain't for a lack of effort. It ain't because they were scared. It ain't because they didn't want to do it. It ain't because they had this, master plan of not playing a lot of tough teams in non-conference games. It was because just no one really wanted to do it. And that's the thing, right? Like the description there of buy games. Hey, we have a couple buy games that we're willing. Mid-major programs, especially mid-major basketball programs, pay for their budget by playing these buy games and being paid to go and travel to places to play these Power 5 teams.
Matt Brown lists Ohio State and Kansas as other schools that Miami of Ohio reached out to, saying, hey, would you like to send us a check? You can beat us up.
Literally. And they said no, because they don't want the possibility of having that embarrassing non-conference loss to a team in a mid-major, because it will tank your reputation. It will tank your NCAA tournament bracket resume. And so they'd rather play teams like Hofstra.
And Platcat doing some reporting here. I'm guessing he used his sandwich money to pay for the subscription. The big asterisk here is Miami turned down games against Santa Clara and St. Mary's.
We're going off of Matt Brown's reporting. And they tried to go and play those games, and they weren't able to play them. So it's one of those things where they tried. Didn't end up happening.
Yeah, it's not as if Miami of Ohio said, well, let's try and go undefeated and not play anyone along the way.
Well, here's another thing, though. They've gone, I hate this conversation because they've gone 30-0. They've won every game. What do you want them to do? They've won every game. They're undefeated. Probably going to finish the season undefeated. If they end up not winning their conference tournament, it would be an absolute joke if they weren't allowed to be in the NCAA tournament. I just can't understand how a team can win 30 games in a row and not be invited to the NCAA tournament. I really don't care that they're not in the power conference. I don't. And I think that this bubble, by the way, that we have in college basketball with how just weak, I mean, it was a weak as hell last year, and it's once again weak as hell this year. And it's just, I don't see how anybody can look at the 68 team NCAA bracket and say, hey, we want more middling, underachieving Power 5 teams from the SEC and the Big Ten in our brackets. I mean, is anybody clamoring? Is anybody really wanting or going to tune in more because you get to see an average ass, probably below average Indiana team play in the NCAA tournament, because you get to see an Auburn team play in the NCAA tournament? Is it really unfair that Virginia Tech and Cincinnati and California aren't going to be in the NCAA tournament this year? Like, what? I mean, that's the one thing about expansion. It's just like, I'm all for expansion. Like, if we gave mid-major teams more chances through expansion, like we gave more of those teams who had awesome mid-major regular seasons, but they slip up in the conference tournament, right? And they're still a really good team, but they had one bad game. Like, all right, maybe I'd be more, maybe if expansion, was used in part to elevate the brands of mid-major teams that don't get on national television a lot. Like we've talked about this, especially last year with Omaha, right? Being in the NCAA tournament is massive from a brand recognition standpoint, right? We see schools across the country where their admissions numbers go up because they were in the NCAA tournament, right? I know about Florida Gulf Coast University. There are a lot of kids my age who know about Florida Gulf Coast University.
Dunk City.
We would not know about FGCU if they didn't make it to the NCAA tournament. Seriously, I would. because I'm in this business, because I'm in broadcasting, because I'm in sports. But there are a lot of kids who aren't in my line of work who know about Dunk City because of the run they made in the NCAA tournament, right? FAU with Dusty May made all those runs. There are kids who were, growing up in the late 2010s, early 2020s who know more about Florida Atlantic University because they were in the NCAA tournament and made a deep run, right? Loyola Chicago, right? That's another one where it's like you know more about them because you have these Cinderella runs, right? We still talk about these teams and these schools, and it's like the recognition and being in the NCAA tournament and the marketing you get because you have a good basketball team for your university is massive. It's big. So if we said, hey, we're going to expand the NCAA tournament and we're going to give more opportunities for mid-major teams who didn't win their tournament, who had good seasons to be in the tourney, if we're going to do that, I'd be a little bit more okay with it, but we're not, Josh Hodson. Instead, we're going to give the expansion is only going to add more underachieving Power 4 basketball teams. That's not going to make me tune into the tournament any more so.
Give me George Mason.
I mean, low key, that's what that's these teams.
Who were the Peacocks the other year?
St. Peter's.
Yeah.
This is the thing, Josh. These Power 5 teams that would be led in through expansion, they've had 14 quad 1 opportunities. They've had ample opportunity, game after game after game, to build up a resume to the point through conference play where they can earn their way into a 68-bid NCAA tournament. And we're going to expand to give those teams more leeway to get into a tournament that they're obviously not going to win. Why? It makes no sense. It makes zero sense. And you're only going to ruin the bracket. Don't make the bracket any more confusing than it needs to be. Don't add extra games or anything like that. No. You cannot mess up that piece of paper. That piece of paper right now that we put on our desk, whether you be a diehard college basketball fan, a casual college basketball fan, or someone who didn't watch one game the entire year, is perfect. You lay it down. It's all on one page. It's all in front of you. You do the playing games. You circle on the left. You circle on the right. You fill out your bracket. You do it by cities you like to visit or who would win in a fight between mascots or who your alma mater. It doesn't matter. It does not matter. Don't ruin the piece of paper. Who knew that Oakland was in Michigan until Jack Golke beat Kentucky? Seriously. Seriously. That's the impact that this tournament has on mid-major basketball teams. And I'm willing to give more opportunities to those guys than to Va Tech, who's middling in the ACC. Really? Really? Indiana plays in the Big Ten. Indiana plays in a conference that has 10 NCAA tournament bid teams. They've had plenty of quad 1 opportunities. They've had plenty of chances to prove that they deserve to be in the NCAA tournament. Why are we expanding the field so more of these average P5 teams get in? It doesn't make sense to me. Right? If Seth Davis wants to come up here and say, well, it gives more exposure. Indiana needs more exposure? No, they don't. Get out of here. But we love doing FOIAs. So that was our FOIA. FOIA of the week?
I would subscribe to that bit.
I think that'd be a really good bit. I still subscribe to FOIA-Ball. I got it.
You got it?
Our Friday FOIA of the week.
Friday FOIA.
It's Friday FOIA. Look at us, man. Are you kidding me?
Show's really coming together.
It really is coming together. Who said we couldn't be a good duo?
A lot of people.
A lot of people. We all have them on a list. It's called the Dead to Us list. Oh! We heard what you said, Connor Stallions. We saw you on Twitter saying that Middays with Matt wouldn't succeed. You son of a gun.
Whose side are you going to take?
Connor Scallions or Matt McMaster?
That's right.
We answer that question next here on 1620.
Middays with Matt on 1620 The Zone. Now back to Middays with Matt on 1620 The Zone.
Do you have an apology to make?
I'm sorry that I said Jason Tatum will not play basketball this year because clearly I was wrong.
No,
Celtics are the Bulls.
No. Try again. I sound like your wife. Apologize again. Try again.
Really not sure what you're looking for here.
Now it really sounds like a conversation at the Odds household.
I'd love to tell you whatever you want to hear. I just don't know what you want to hear, babe.
You said something.
I say lots of things.
I'm trying.
That's what I say to my wife as well.
I know. That's what she would say to you. You said something about something Platt Cat cares about, and it was rude. Well, you called something dead. And they're not dead. They're not dead at all.
Who did I kill? I didn't kill any. I don't kill people.
Yes, you did, you son of a gun. You didn't have the chutzpah to say they were dead before we went to the Hope Lodge. Because we might see some people over there. And then you called...
I canceled them. That's not killing them.
Oh,
they're allowed to live.
You won't cancel them now, you son of a gun.
Army Hammer is allowed to live. He just got canceled.
Who's Army Hammer?
He's the actor who...
Oh, the cannibalist guy?
Yeah, that's right. That's exactly what people know him for.
Wow, cannibalism to Jackson Richardson committing to Creighton's 2026 recruiting class.
Because Jays fans are going to eat.
They're going to eat this up.
That's right.
Josh Hodson. Jackson Richardson, a 6'6" small forward from Southeastern Prep who was ranked number 21 of the 2026 class, has chosen the Creighton Blue Jays over longtime rival Alabama.
Best rivalry in the sport.
And not so much longtime rival Ole Miss and USC. Jackson Richardson, a McDonald's All-American Jackson Richardson.
Matt,
Everyone's disaster!
The rivalry is heated up.
Disaster! What happened? Oh no! He's not going to Creighton.
What
happened? They said he committed. I'm reading an article. I'm reading a 247 article.
Joe Tipton 2 minutes ago.
Oh no!
Kids are stupid. We got to stop doing things because kids said it. On 3 reporting that the 6'6" small forward is committing to Alabama.
No!
Horse crap call.
It's a trap.
Horse crap call.
Stibbs working his magic fingers.
I mean, what a disaster. Joe Tipton, the top 25 overall recruit, Jackson Richardson, is committed to Alabama. We were, by the way, reading a 247 Sports article written by Deshaun London, and we're damn right going to say his name to expose his false reporting.
Now, Matt's reading a super old article. Would you like to read the timestamp on that article?
21 minutes.
Okay.
21 minutes ago.
So somewhere in the last
20 minutes.
20 minutes.
Alabama just got on the phone with another donor and says, okay, we know what we have to do here.
Kids.
That's so tough.
That is tough.
That is so tough.
This is going to be looked at just like, hey, remember when Gonzaga was going to be in the Big East?
Wow.
It was a real tough 15 minutes.
By the way, we could not have executed that any better. In time, as we were celebrating, as I was trying to chastise you for saying they were dead. They died.
I'm not dead yet. No, you
no, you are. No, the nail's in the coffin. Yeah. Jackson Richardson, Alabama Crimson Tide. Wow.
Would have been the highest rated recruit in program history, says Whiskey. That'd be John Walker of the Omaha World Herald.
Wasn't Cottrell Harmon, wasn't he, the guy that they signed? So he's from Utah. He's a 4-star. He's ranked the 56th prospect. Wasn't he the next, isn't he also the highest ranked prospect of all time for Creighton? So would have been a hell of a recruiting class for Creighton. It would have been. Plaquette goes, that was a really happy 4 minutes. I think Plaquette experiences a lot of that on the weekends.
Hello. He's interested in it, unlike others.
I feel bad for Creighton fans. That was tough, especially Creighton fans who were listening to this show.
Remember, Creighton fans, it takes half the time you were with them to get over them. So in
40 minutes, you'll be fine.
Yeah.
You know what happened was, I think Alabama found out and they just called them and go, "What do you need?" Or somebody just falsely reported that Deshaun London released an article. Who is Deshaun London, by the way? He's a national staff writer. And he wrote out that
Creighton made up.
Creighton got a commitment from Jackson Richardson.
I'll bet he's AI.
No, this isn't sports247.com. This is 247sports.com. This isn't Pete Nokos I'm reading. I'm reading a legitimate human who this article is still live. Look. Wow.
Yeah, that's the other thing. You got to pull that article. You just got to pull it.
Wait. He's got quotes from Jackson. Richardson said, "I chose Creighton because I love the style of play they have. They play together, and their ball movement is a big part of it. The coaching staff coming out to my games and talking to me on the phone also meant a lot. Creighton assistant Trey Ziegler was the lead recruiter for Richardson and built a strong relationship throughout the process," according to Richardson. "The consistency of that communication played a major role in the decision. He calls me once every few days," Richardson said, "and that was very important. The vision from him and the staff was for me to come and immediately work on the things I need to improve, like coming off ball screens and getting better." There is a plethora of Creighton fans can expect a lot of highlight plays.
What was your favorite highlight from Jackson Richardson at Creighton?
Dunks, threes, and a bunch of defensive stops, Richardson said.
I mean, should I resurrect the top 5 list and do top 5 moments of Jackson Richardson's career at
Jackson
Creighton?
Richardson dead to us.
Oh, okay.
Dead to us, Jackson Richardson.
That's probably a good use of the dead to me list. Yeah, sure.
This MFer talked to Deshaun London. I feel bad for Deshaun now. He talked to Deshaun London, told him, "I'm coming to Creighton. I love the style of play. Trey Ziegler, he's an awesome recruiter. Calls me every couple of days. That's my guy. That's my dude. You know what, Creighton fans? I'm coming to the chai. I'm going to dunk it for you. I'm going to hit threes for you. I'm going to play defense for you." And Joe Tipton goes, "Yeah, you're going to see him hit a lot of dunks and shoot a lot of threes and make a big impact for the Alabama Crimson Tide in Tuscaloosa." The Field of 68 now reports Jackson Richardson is committed to Alabama. He announced via Instagram.
Kids. His big brother, Jace, who's with the G League Magic team.
Yeah, he was he was a Michigan State Wolverine, Jace Richardson. Am I incorrect there?
Was he a Michigan Wolverine or a Michigan State Spartan?
Sorry, Michigan State Spartan.
Okay. Proud big brother.
Jace Richardson. I should know this. Yeah, I played at Michigan State. See, I was right. 1 year, last year. Why did I even have to think about that? Charles, hoodwinked, bamboozled, led astray, run amok, and flat out deceived by Jackson Richardson and the Alabama Crimson Tide. That's tough. That's really tough.
I mean, if you want to win by giving kids McDonald's bags full of cash, I mean, that's fine. But
we're just going to call Nate Oates Bagman?
Yeah, I guess. I mean, he's clearly got one. You're clearly cheating down there.
All righty. Well, Creighton fans, that was a really tough 8 minutes that you just had to endure of Jason Richardson, or Jackson Richardson, rather, telling Deshaun London he's going to Creighton and telling him how much he loves Omaha and how much he can't wait to play in front of you. And then 2 minutes later, posting on Instagram, he's going to Alabama. That's tough.
That's so wild.
It
just bang, bang like that.
That's a tough pill to swallow. But we're going to lift your spirits because coming up next, the greatest segment in Omaha sports radio this week in women's history, up to come after this break here on Middays with Matt.
Middays with Matt on 1620 The Zone. Now, back to Middays with Matt on 1620 The Zone.
All righty, we'll have a lot to get to in the 1 o'clock hour. Jackson Richardson, for a very brief moment in time, was going to be a Creighton Blue Jay, the 4-star top 25 consensus recruit in the class of 2026 in college basketball, and the McDonald's All-American. Seemed like he was heading to Omaha for a mere 17 minutes. Until it was announced on his Instagram that he's instead going to one of Creighton's biggest rivals, Alabama. So we will talk all about that at the 1 o'clock hour and go through the man who published the 247 article about Richardson committing to Creighton, Deshaun London. We're going to go through his replies because there are a lot of angry Creighton fans in his mentions right now, if you will. We'll also go through a top 30 big board that was released for the NBA draft. Continue to talk about Nebraska football, and we have some NFL rumors could just hit very quickly. But before we get to all of that, let's go ahead and do This Week in Women's History. We have tasked you all in sending emails to Josh Hodson into women that I may not know about, that affected our culture, that affected our pop culture, that affected our history, that made waves on our society way before I was ever born as a young man in the month of April in 2002. Josh Hodson has been given a list of 5 women. We will see where this goes. We always discover something very interesting on This Week in Women's History. Josh Hodson, let me open up a brand new tab here, if I may. Open up new tab. Let's go.
Okay. We're going to start with, no, we'll save that for another week.
Okay.
Brooke Burke.
Brooke Burke. Okay. I think Brooke Burke is an actress. I'm going to guess she's an actress. That's what I will guess.
I don't think you're right. I think she parlayed it into that.
Okay. So her Wikipedia says that, okay. Is an American television and fitness personality, author, actress, and businesswoman.
Mm-hmm.
She hosted on E! Network.
That's right.
She looks a little bit like Marina Menounos.
Okay, yeah.
A little bit.
WWE Hall of Famer Maria Menounos.
Yes, and the woman that also always talked to me before AMC movies at the AMC movie theater. Maria, that's where I know her from because my father would go to movies 45 minutes early for no earthly reason.
Love your dad.
So Maria would always be up there just breaking down. Like we got there.
Maria, it's called Nuvi. Don't act like we don't know it's called Nuvi.
Nuvi. She would break down all the things before the trailers.
That's right.
All right.
She'd interview somebody. She'd play some games with you.
You would put up your phone to the screen and you'd play like Galaga or whatever.
Yeah.
All right. So she's from Hartford, Connecticut. Wow. Wild On. Is that what she's famous for?
That is what most people in this audience know her from.
What was she wild on?
It was basically a travel show where she goes to
party at places,
different beaches, I guess.
Nude beaches?
No, I don't think so.
In 2012, Burke brought her own personal brand of fitness workouts to consumer via a DVD series with Sony Pictures Home Entertainment. The 4 DVD series consisted of Transform Your Body with Brooke Burke, Strength and Condition, Transform Your Body with Brooke Burke, Tone and Tighten, Brooke Burke Body, Sexy Abs, and Brooke Burke Body, 30-Day Slim Down. Actually, can I purchase a Brooke Burke? Because I need to slim down.
I guarantee it.
Brooke Burke.
It's almost bikini season.
Dude, we're getting up there. I want to look hot for the College World Series is my goal.
There you go.
30-Day Slim Down. Can I purchase this DVD? It's on Amazon.
Okay, there you go.
4.25 stars out of 5 for $9.99. Would you want? I could buy us both Brooke Burke Slim Down DVDs.
I would do one thing before you click buy on that. Is it on YouTube?
Good question. But I want the copy.
You want the hard copy.
I want to support my girl Brooke.
Okay, there you go.
You can't. Brooke Burke. I'm on YouTube now. Brooke Burke Slim Down. 30-day. Yes, it is.
Okay.
Very much.
Seemed like something that would be.
It's a lot of dancing. Oh, you're like jiving.
Uh-huh.
Okay. All right. But Wild and On. Wild On?
Wild On, yep.
Yeah, fun, good.
I remember watching it.
Was it good?
I don't remember that. It served its purpose.
Charles Carmichael goes, my body transformed because of Brooke Burke.
She helped a lot of people.
Hoof-hearted. There you go, Hoof. I appreciate it. She posed for Playboy.
Whoa, this isn't about that.
But he's just telling us what she did.
She is an entrepreneur.
What is her latest panure?
Exactly.
What's our next woman?
She won season 7 of Dancing with the Stars.
Oh, good for her.
Yeah.
She also wrote her first book, The Naked Mom.
Whoa.
A modern. This is
not
her,
about that.
This is her work. I'm just telling you what she did. I'm not. And then she also wrote, after The Naked Mom, she wrote Chicken Soup for the Soul.
What do you mean she wrote Chicken Soup for the Soul?
She co-authored her second book, Chicken Soup for the Soul, The Joy of Less, a guide to simplifying your life with Amy Newmark.
That title is taken.
But she co-authored it, according to her Wikipedia, along with Naked Mom, a modern mom's fearless revelations.
What? Who wrote Chicken Soup for the Soul? Yeah, it's a couple of white dudes.
But in 2016, she co-authored her second book, Chicken Soup for the Soul, The Joy of Less.
Huh, okay.
She wrote her own version.
Apparently.
She wrote like it's like the Home Alone movies, but without Macaulay Culkin.
Yeah.
That's her Chicken Soup for the Soul.
I wrote a movie about a kid who was home alone, and we slapped the title Home Alone on it.
Exactly. Chicken Soup for the Soul.
Sure. Okay, next up.
All right.
Stacey Dash.
Mom? Oh, okay. Stacey Dash, total swimsuit model.
I don't think she likes swimsuit models. Stacey Dash. I'm going to
She's-
just assume some things about her.
She is an American actress.
That's right.
Oh, what a very, very pretty woman. Wow.
Again, not what this is about.
No, but still, from the Bronx, Stacey Loretta Dash. Is this what she looks like now? Wow. I want to get on. Is she on Brooke Burke's workout program?
I don't know what she's on.
She's whatever she's on. I want to be on. Her skin is like the clearest.
That's right. That's right, Matt.
Skin I've ever seen in my entire life.
That's an excellent observation.
Like, this is crazy. She needs to have a skin routine. She needs to release it. She played Dion Mary Davenport in the 1995 feature film Clueless.
That's right.
And its television series.
That's right.
Does that happen anymore where we make a movie and then we make a big TV series about it?
Great question.
The last
Matt.
one I
don't
can think of
does.
is Ted. Ted is a TV series.
We'll talk
now.
about that later today and what to watch.
Oh, okay. Okay. She also appeared in Phil's Moving Mo Money, The Renaissance Man,
that's a good
and
movie.
View from the Top.
Renaissance
What is she
Man,
most
less good.
known for?
Definitely Clueless.
Okay. But then it talks about her politics.
Yeah, she did make that very clear at one point in her life.
She was a Mitt Romney gal.
Okay, I don't remember that's where it's starting, but
She Dash voted for Barack Obama in 2008. She switched her party affiliation from Democratic to Republican and endorsed Republican presidential nominee Mitt Romney.
That is probably the second most known for thing in her biography, yes.
Dash stated it was her opinion and she did not understand the vitriol. Vice President Paul Ryan thanked Dash for supporting his ticket. Okay.
All right.
There's a lot about her political career. It's just who this woman vote. Oh, she ran for the 40. Okay, I don't care. Great. Sorry. Great skin. Moving on. It's awesome skin from Stacey Dash.
That's right. This one is probably the one you're most likely to know on our list today.
All right.
Cyndi Lauper.
She wrestled.
That's correct.
She's in the WWE Hall of Fame.
That is where I thought you might know her from.
She also video killed the radio star, correct? Was she the first MTV music video?
That was the Buggles.
Hoof-hearted. Also did Playboy.
3 for 3 today, I believe.
Josh, that's not what this is about.
That's what I keep saying to people.
By the way, this is Women's History Month, all right? You
Yeah.
can't just keep picking Playboy women.
It's not what I'm doing.
Yes, you are. You've gone 3 for 3 today. Now he's crossing off the list to see if he's gone 5 for 5.
I know the
Playboy.
next one did. Yeah, I did not know I did that, huh?
Yes, you did. You totally did. Are you a self-conscious Playboy guy? Self-consciously, you just think of Playboy women? How many Playboy magazines did you own, you dirty dog?
Did I own?
How many Playboy magazines?
Zero.
That is not true.
I had the internet.
Okay. Wow. Put down the hammer. Girls just want to have fun.
That was the one.
Yes, they do. Should I do the whole thing where I look up, I know who Sydney, I think I very famously called her Cindy Looper on the morning show.
Time is a flat circle. Call her Cindy Looper. That's fine.
Cindy Lauper. American singer, songwriter, actress. A trailblazer, if you will. Was very different in her own right. Kind of a pioneer in a way.
I guess before I make this comparison, let me ask you if you're familiar with it first. Are you aware that in the 1990s, Britney Spears had a rivalry with Christina Aguilera?
No, I didn't.
Okay. So when I say that the next person on our list had a very famous feud with Cyndi Lauper, you won't understand the
magnitude of said feud.
Yeah. Tiffany.
She's an EGOT.
Cyndi Lauper has an EGOT?
She's one of the very few singers to win 3 of the 4 American Major Entertainment Awards.
Oh, okay. She's one away? Wow.
What? She has a Grammy, an Oscar, and an Emmy. Does she not have a Tony? I feel
like she could get a Tony.
Is she an ego?
Ego.
Or is she an act?
She does not have an Oscar.
Whoa.
So
she's an act, if you will.
Yeah.
Okay. Who's
Tiffany.
That? Tiffany who?
Just Tiffany. Just one name, Tiffany.
This isn't gonna go. How am I gonna find her?
It'll come up.
Tiffany jewelry.
Nope.
Tiffany men's wedding bands.
Nope. Tiffany Darwish, if you need a last name. She didn't use it professionally.
Tiffany Darwish. There we go. Came up right away.
Okay.
Wow, very different looking to our friend Sydney.
Yes.
80s pop icon unrecognizable decades after #1 hit is the #1 story that pops up.
That seems unfair.
Okay, to be fair though, it's 40 years later. I mean, who's really recognizable 40 years later?
That's right.
Yeah, I mean,
also the 80s were a moment in time, people.
Well, yeah, we were doing a lot of things in the 80s that we thought, didn't we think smoking was good for you in the 80s?
Yeah, we did. Denim, big hair.
Guys, you liked denim back in the day.
Uh-huh.
You were a big fan of denim. Denim is kind of back.
Yeah.
I was going to say.
My wife bought a jean jacket a year or 2 ago.
One of my girlfriends back home in Chicago we talked about this, the girls that I don't have any relationships with.
Okay.
Other than being friends. They told me to get a jean jacket. Okay, so she's a California girl, which makes sense because Sydney was a New York girl. And so that means that there's probably a West Coast, East Coast rivalry
West Coast,
here.
Yeah.
Okay, between Tiffany and
I believe
and
both
Lauper.
of these people are still alive, though.
Okay. What did they beef about?
They were just, fighting for the same audience because.
Oh, that's boring.
For whatever reason, we feel like, I'm sorry, you can't like 2 pop singers. We always do this.
Yeah, I know. Can they not coexist?
Yeah.
That makes no sense.
Are you a Tiffany girl or are you a Cyndi Lauper girl? Well, you could be both.
Mike writes in, I met Tiffany's granddad at the Broken Bow McDonald's.
Whoa.
Mike, you're going to have to call him.
Did you get into that yesterday?
Charles goes, was he gambling? Maybe Tiffany's granddad is from Broken Bow. Okay. So
maybe
this Tiffany Darwish woman, like on the scale of Carson Daly to
okay.
I don't know. How big of a deal was she?
She was a really big deal, sort of like a comet streaking across the sky.
Oh, okay.
A big deal, a very big deal, but not for very long.
So 3-hit wonder kind of?
I can think of one.
Okay. What was that one called?
I Think We're Alone Now.
Oh, right. She's had 2 divorces.
That's sad. I wish her the best.
Wow. Cyndi Lauper's been married for 35 years.
Mazel
tov. And Stacey Dash had 3 divorces. And how did Brooke Burke do?
I think actually, now that you say that, I think she's had a couple marriages.
She's had 2. All right, we're keeping score.
Okay. Divorce and Playboy. That's what all 4 of these have in common. I know,
except for Sydney. She's not the same guy.
I believe our last person on this list
has a lot of Playboys and a lot of divorces.
I think she goes 5 for 5 on this. I did not do this intentionally. Rebecca Romaine.
Oh, I know Rebecca.
Okay. Damn.
Come
I really wanted that to be a moment where you're like, I don't know who that is.
Do I know? She's married. She's married to Jerry O'Connell.
That's right. Do you know who her ex-husband was?
John Stamos.
That's right.
Because they always make fun of Jerry for being John Stamos' sloppy seconds.
Okay, yeah, sure.
Rebecca Romaine. Well, she was Mystique, right?
That's right. That's her. This is about pop culture contributions.
God,
that's hers.
It's one of my girls. Love Rebecca Romaine.
Yeah, knew I shouldn't have went.
I
should have listened to my gut and not put her in.
I mean, do I have to say anything else? I mean, great actress in a lot of really good movies.
Huh.
The Punisher. She's Joan in The Punisher.
This
X-Men. Mystique.
Google says she's in Avengers Doomsday.
Oh, is she?
That feels like a spoiler.
Well, yeah, but she's coming back. Wow. I always like that we can talk about Rebecca. Anytime we get to talk about Rebecca Romaine is a good time.
It's on her IMDb as well. So
it is. Okay, she's going to be in.
Must be a known thing.
Must be a known thing. She was also in the new Star Trek things. The
things?
TV shows,
Movies,
the TV shows,
comics,
Star Trek, the Strange New World one. She's in that. She's a great actress. There you go. See, I know some of these people. I'm cultured.
Yeah, you knew two of the people on the list today.
See that I got to know less.
I know.
Cyndi Lauper, that was a tough one because I mean the WWF. Now Rebecca Romaine, it'd be hard not to do this thing and not have her in it at some point.
I had to know whether or not you knew.
It could have been a moment in time.
Yeah, it would have been hilarious had you not.
Oh, I would have fallen flat on my face. Mm-hmm. I still think the leader in the clubhouse for I'm so happy this occurred is Brooke Shields.
Yes, you became just absolutely mesmerized by Brooke Shields.
I did not know they looked like that. That's just the best way to describe it.
That's rare. Her
it's
contributions to pop culture history are rare.
Sorry, let me just go. I just want to continue to look up her Wikipedia page.
You just want to learn about her contributions.
She was in Mother of the Bride. This is what my mother was talking to me about. That she came like she kind of resurrected a little bit and she's still doing stuff. She's still acting.
Now, can we cross two birds off with one stone?
Go ahead, please.
Like,
do the trick.
Did she ever do a movie with Sean Penn?
I saw that Sean Penn won an Oscar for Best Actor.
He won the Screen Actors Guild Award for Best Supporting Actor over the weekend. Yes.
Okay? So he's still killing it.
Yeah.
Did Brooke Shields and Sean Penn date?
Boy, that seems creepy if they did.
Okay, thank God. Who was the one in the Fast Times at Ridgemont High? She comes in. That was another great one.
In the credits for Fast Times at Ridgemont High, it reads, quote, Jeff Spicoli rescued Brooke Shields from drowning.
Asian Joe goes, we heard Matt became a man when he saw Brooke's photos on the air. Who's Alicia Silverstone?
She was the star of Clueless with Stacey Dash.
Okay.
She later went on to play Batgirl, and people called her Fat Girl. She was not fat.
That is so rude.
Yes. She was also in Excess
Baggage.
I know
Alicia. I know this girl. I know. No. I know
Benicio
Alicia
del
Silverstone.
Toro, a few small beers.
She's where do I know Alicia Silverstone from? She's gorgeous.
Yes, This is about contributions to pop culture.
Yes, she had great contributions in Clueless. Where do I know her from? I've seen something with Alicia.
Okay,
Silverstone.
and it's not
Clueless.
Clueless. It's not Batman and Robin.
Are we gonna get the Brooke Burke workout DVD together?
I mean, I'm not gonna go in on it with you if that's what you're asking.
It's $9.99. You know, I could buy it for both of us.
Blast from the Past,
if you will.
Was she? Did you watch that? She was in that with Brendan Fraser.
Stibbs goes, her lisp was freaking adorable. She was in Begonia.
Yeah, she was.
Okay, good to know. Alrighty.
During the break, we're going to figure this out because it's not her biggest projects that you know her from, but you know her.
I know. I got to go to her IMDb. But we have to hit a break. We're going to hit a break.
Hitting it.
Hit the break now. Here on 1620.
Middays with Matt on 1620 The Zone. Now back to Middays with Matt on 1620 The Zone.
See, I think I know Alicia Silverstone from Scooby-Doo 2, Monsters Unleashed.
Okay, I saw that in the resume, and I thought that might be the one.
That was I had that
because
on,
it was not Clueless, Batman and Robin, Excess Baggage.
I had it on VHS tape growing up.
Oh.
Scooby-Doo 2, Monsters Unleashed.
Okay, were you a big
Linda Cardellini was Velma.
Yes. Were you a big Aerosmith fan?
No.
Okay.
I will say this though, that movie, Scooby-Doo 2, Monsters Unleashed, had Peter Boyle, had Linda Cardellini, had Seth Green, Freddie Prinze Jr., and Matthew Lillard. For a sequel of a pretty crappy kids movie, that's a pretty damn good cast, man.
Okay, yeah.
It's pretty impressive. Do you know who's not having an impressive day? Our friend Deshaun London.
Not our friend.
No, not our friend. We're not going to do the low-hanging fruit thing of putting him on the dead to us list. We're not. Because have you been through the replies of Deshaun London, the 24/7 sports reporter who announced that top 25 recruit in the class of 2026, Jackson Richardson, was committing to Creighton? Have you looked through his replies? They're not good. They're very bad.
No,
there are a lot of
get there.
very, very, very angry Creighton Blue Jay fans in there. Aside from the stuff that we can't say on the air, which there are a lot of, we have comments like, feel like you got a lot to answer for, pal.
Hit him with a pal, huh? Okay.
I've been in the news business for the better part of 30 years and can't recall a time where I effed up this bad. Ouch.
Look, I said that to him because I was mad, okay? It was an emotional reaction. I regret it.
Robert goes, I agree with everyone else in these comments. You just like throwing S at the wall and hope you're right. There's a lot of really bad. I shouldn't be laughed at this. This is bad, but there's about 40 comments. Somebody posts, address me, and it's a big elephant in a room. So, Deshaun London, we feel bad for you. And we also feel bad for Creighton basketball fans who thought that Jackson Richardson was going.
These are great replies.
It was ridiculous.
We can't read any of them.
We can't read zero. We can read zero of them.
A lot of F words.
And so many F words. And some other words we shouldn't really be using in the English vernacular.
There's a couple I like, okay, maybe I should report that.
Yeah,
but,
yeah.
You know, it's not important enough.
Also, too, it's been a pretty good start, by the way, for Nebraska men's baseball. They did go 1-3 against Auburn on the road. 25 walks, not great in a series, but 7-5 to begin the year. 2 wins over ranked teams in Florida State and in Auburn as well. Went 2-0 in the midweek this week by defeating Omaha, along with also defeating South Dakota State by 1 run. Midday game, so I'm counting games that have been played on Tuesdays and Wednesdays for Nebraska baseball. Typically, those games are played, not always, but typically those games are played against teams that are in lesser conferences than the Big Ten, whether it be the Big East or the Summit League or whomever it might be. Nebraska baseball has not been good under Will Bolt recently in the last 2 seasons. In the midweek games, they've been 12-12 combined in 2024 and 2025. They get off to a good start in 2026 by beginning their midweek slate 2-0 with wins over Omaha and SDSU. They begin Big Ten Conference play this weekend in Haymarket Park on Friday at 2:00 when they take on the Michigan State Spartans. So good luck to Nebraska men's basketball. Creighton women's basketball, who a very young team this year, got off to a pretty slow start. We had Jim Flannery on the show, explain to us that there was definitely some learning curves in November and December for this Creighton women's basketball teams. But at the end of the year, in the Big East play, they've won 3 games in a row. They play their first game of the Big East Conference tournament on Saturday at 1:30 against Marquette. Shout out to Jamie Carey and Omaha women's basketball. 6-25 to begin her first season in Omaha. Tough record. I think, correct me if I'm wrong, didn't they have like open tryouts at one point during the season?
They won a Summer League Conference tournament game. So congratulations, Omaha women's basketball picks up one dub. They play number 1 seed North Dakota State later today. So after defeating North Dakota yesterday. Nebraska women's basketball lost yesterday to Indiana in the first round of the Big Ten Conference tournament. Oof. We're going to see, Josh Hodson. It's going to be a close one. As of yesterday, according to ESPN, Nebraska women's basketball was an 11 seed in the play-in against Princeton. Nebraska women's basketball had a lot of opportunities against a really good Big Ten women's basketball conference this year, played a lot of ranked teams, weren't really able to pull out any of those higher quality wins. Had a really, really good start to the beginning of this year, but just as Big Ten play went on, just really could not find their stride against the top of the conference. Loses a game yesterday where, they were projected to be in the tournament, and you would feel way better about their odds to make the NCAA tournament if they had won at least one game of the Big Ten tourney. They dropped that one. We will wait on pins and needles to find out if Nebraska women's basketball will be dancing in March. So there's a little bit of housekeeping for you in the NFL today. DJ Moore from the Bears was traded for a second-round pick. Josh Allen gets that all-important target that he's needed. The Bears move on from DJ Moore, won't pay any of his remaining contract. He signed a contract extension not at the beginning of the last season, but the season before. DJ Moore, it just never worked out between him and Caleb. And I don't know, just DJ's is a guy that he's great with the ball in his hands, but he's not that great of a route runner. At least when he was in Chicago, he wasn't that great of a route runner. It's definitely more of a guy running to space in terms of running an actual route. It just seemed like the only way for him to be effective was getting him the ball in short yardage situations, using screens. They even would put him in the backfield as a runner, because there's not a guy in terms of yak and creating extra yardage than his feet, especially when he's wrapped up, that's that much better than DJ Moore. He's one of the best guys in the league at doing that. But it just didn't really work out, the chemistry between him and Caleb, and the Bears have a lot of other younger weapons on the team. Roma Dunze, Luther Burden, and Colston Loveland, to name a few. So the Bears move on. They trade a 5th-round pick and upgrade to a 2nd-round pick as Josh Allen. They look, Keon Coleman just didn't work out. It's just not working out there, not only from an on-the-field perspective for Buffalo, but an off-the-field perspective for Buffalo as well. I mean, the reports of him being suspended for games for missing meetings, and him just being unable to, as a man, really, if we're being honest. And, it was kind of difficult for him at the end of the season. And I think Josh Allen, especially with the improved run game that they've had with James Cook, who was one of the best running backs in the league last year, doesn't necessarily need all of the targets in the world to be effective on offense, because
go Josh Allen,
because he himself is a weapon with his legs, and they got some pretty good tight end targets out there, but they need kind of that alpha number 1 wide receiver type. DJ Moore, still 29 years old, can be that for the Buffalo Bills, who very much contending, still contending, especially now with, it seems like, after the Trent McDuffie trade with Kansas City, and not knowing how long it's going to take for Patrick Mahomes to come back next season, if he comes back at all. Wouldn't shock me if maybe the Chiefs could say, you know what, we're gonna have him rest up. We'll see. I mean, the Bills going to be very much in contention to win the AFC and to go to the Super Bowl, something that they have not done yet with such a great quarterback like Josh Allen. Make a good move to go ahead and get DJ Moore. The Bears open up a ton of cap space and add some draft capital for potential signing of a top center like Tyler Lindenbaum, or trading for Max Crosby. So we will wait and see. We are only about, I think, 5 days at this point from the opening up of the NFL free agency negotiating window, where a lot of dominoes, especially at the quarterback position, will fall and determine how the outlook of the upcoming NFL season will look like. Coming up next, we talk to a guy who's always on his stuff, one of the best in the business. Andy Kendi of KETV joins us next.
Middays with Matt on 1620 The Zone. Now back to Middays with Matt on 1620 The Soul.
And don't forget this, actually, wrong one. This one. Go to 1620thezone.com to win the following contest. We have 6 different concerts that include Chris Stapleton, the Black Keys, the Young Giant, George Thorogood and the Destroyers, Joe Coy, and Journey in Lincoln. All different dates varying around from April all the way up to October. If you're interested in winning your way to any of those artists, go ahead and go to 1620thezone.com to enter into those following contests. We bring in from KETV, one of the best of the business, the voice of sports here in Omaha, Mr. Andy Kendi. AK, how are you?
What's going on, brother? I'm kind of getting I'm going to be a little preoccupied for 30 seconds because I got to set up my recordings for girls basketball. It starts at 1:30.
Yes. How excited are you we have state basketball for girls this weekend, and then next weekend we got the boys. How are you feeling about that?
Very, very, very excited. This is always the favorite time of year. It's also the time of year where you say, where is some of this stuff in like the middle of April or end of April and early May when we were just dying for content?
Sure. Well, you guys are loaded.
One of those deals.
Well, so what's the plan here? So you have state basketball this weekend. You have state basketball next weekend. You have potentially, depending on how well they do, the Summit League tournament for the men begins on Friday. Then you have the Big Ten tournament next week for the Big Ten Conference tournament. And oh, by the way, Creighton, what if they make a run? They look great yesterday against Butler. Are you going to MSG? What is the plan at KETV, Andy Kendi?
The plan is to be flexible and nimble. Right? Flexible and nimble.
I love that.
I mean, you have to be prepared for just about everything. It's just a weird time of year because you got to be, you got to cover your basics. You got to cover the stuff that's in your backyard, right? You got to do the high school. That's the bread and butter. And, and the other thing is like, what are you going to get? What can you get elsewhere? Like, you're going to get highlights of the Big East Conference tournament. They're all on TV. You're going to get stuff, highlights of Summit League / Big Ten. It's just a matter of where you want to point those resources. I think for the Big Ten deal is because for the men, at least, you got to be really cognizant because Selection Sunday is on right after the Big Ten Conference tournament final. If they win a couple games, they're in that final. That's your only access to them on Selection Sunday. You got to go.
Yeah.
That is something that we've never had to deal with per se. On the men's side, is to have to deal with the realistic chance that this team could get that far. So it's really kind of thrown us a curveball in that respect because, at the beginning of the year, you say, hey, you might have to, rip up your plans for boys basketball week and make sure 1 or 2 people are in Chicago. I would have thought you were crazy, but that's where we're at. That's where we're at.
How are you feeling about Nebraska men's basketball? 5-5 in their last 10 games. Those 5 losses all coming to against quad 1 opponents. How big of a kind of momentum swing could Sunday be? I mean, how big of a difference heading into the postseason tournaments, the Big Ten tournament and the NCAA tournament? How big of a swing could it be between winning that game and losing that game in terms of momentum and confidence?
Well, I'm not going to overreact to the other night in LA just as much as I'm not going to overreact to no matter what happens on Sunday. That being said, though, you sure feel better about Nebraska if they play like you've seen them play for the first 20, 25 games of the year. I think that's what Husker fans want to see. They want to feel good about their team heading into the postseason. And they haven't had a clunker all year, and that's just the nature of college basketball. And give credit to UCLA; they were great the other night.
They were
outstanding. That was the best they played all year, and they shot lights out. And Nebraska, if they're not hitting shots, and if there's cracks in their defense, that's going to happen. But that's a good reminder going into Iowa, which I think there's not going to be any issue getting up for that game, whether it's the fans, whether it's the team, coaching staff, what have you. I think the scenario is playing out quite nicely. You can go in there, finish off the regular season, tie the school record for most wins in a regular season, and knock off one of your biggest rivals along the way. I just think it's going to be an electric atmosphere on Sunday that we haven't seen in a while. it's a Sunday. I don't know if it's No Sit Sunday or if we got to come up with another witty phrase, but it's going to be something.
Standing only Sunday.
Standing room only Sunday. I think that I just think, you know, what if round one wasn't as heated with everything that went on, whether it's on or off.
Yeah.
If that played out differently, then Sunday, I think people look at it a little differently. But man, after what happened in Iowa City, I think people are jonesing for an electric atmosphere, and there will be people ready to bring it up.
Look at the last 3 games though of the series between these teams, right? People forget that crazy game that went to overtime they played against Iowa Carver Hawkeye last year, where you had that crazy Bryce Williams 3 and come back to send the OT. They lose that game, and then you talk about this Sunday being juiced. Like, I know that Sunday last year that was played at 11 a.m. that essentially knocked them out of the NCAA tournament, knocked them out of the Big Ten tournament. That still has a bitter taste in their mouths. And, you know, you had a lot of really good players like Jawan Gary and Bryce Williams. That was the last time we saw them play basketball, at least in a regular season perspective in a Nebraska uniform. It's just that I like that the rivalry with Iowa has actually become a rivalry. I'm a big fan of that, and I think that
I am too.
This team need to win. They need to beat Iowa. It'd be very big for them.
They need to win, and they need to look like Nebraska's looked for the first 3 quarters of the season doing it. And I think that's the big thing. I mean, yeah, you want to win, and winning is very important. Don't get me wrong, but I think the way you win is just as important. You know, because I really think that you need to make sure that you're doing the things that got you to 20-0 on Sunday as you go into the postseason, because you know how that's going to go. I mean,
sure.
Look at the jumbled standings. Seeding is so important, not just in the Big Ten Conference tournament, but in the NCAA tournament. And it's all about matchups. Once you get into the big dance, and the better the seed, the easier quote unquote easier the matchup is in your initial game. And I contend too that, you know, Nebraska gets into the big dance. If they're able to knock off and get that historic first win in the NCAA tournament, they're going to be in pretty good shape in round 2, no matter who they play, because Nebraska plays such a different brand of basketball that is tough to prepare for when you're outside of the conference. You don't see this style of basketball being played these days, and you only have 48 hours to prepare. Good luck with that, you know?
Yeah.
So I think if you can get through that first game, that's going to be really, really important and a very difficult prep to whoever they play.
And look, if they end up beating Iowa, you know, that's another Q1 win. And then if they win a Big Ten tournament game, that's another Q1 win. That's 10 Q1 wins that you have on the year. It's going to be pretty hard to deny them a 2 seed if they can get 2 more quality wins like that. And especially with Iowa State and Illinois not playing some of their best basketball as of late. And you're right. I think there is a big difference between the 14 seeds and the 15 seeds and the 6 seeds and the 7 seeds. Let's go ahead and let's talk about Creighton basketball real quick. I want to ask you, or actually, no, let's talk about Nebraska football. I want to talk about Nebraska football.
Okay. All right.
You're
about Creighton.
We got one more question with you here. So I want to get your opinion on spring ball and what you've seen, and what you've seen in terms of comments from players and coaches. We're over 33% of the way from spring football. What do you think? What have you seen? What are some takeaways you've gotten? I know we haven't seen them practice. We haven't had an open practice yet to shoot B-roll or see them warm up or throw or any of the coaches coach. But what you've seen from comments and writing and maybe other, tidbits we've gotten from the inside in terms of how certain guys are looking. What are takeaways that Andy Kendi is jotting down in the back of your head?
Well, first of all, great win by Creighton last night. That
great
was
win
as they played. Yeah, good for the Jays to feel good about themselves going into New York. That being said, let's talk football. And I think that this is the quietest spring I've ever experienced, and I think it's done by design. And I think there's a reason why we haven't been let in to shoot our 15 minutes of video of these guys. I hesitate on making any grand proclamations because I haven't seen them with my own eyes. I mean, all I've seen. You can see, any student probably has a better intel on these guys than we do because they see them more often walking from the facility back to their dorms or to their apartments or whatever. I mean, it's just been a goofy spring from our, it's just, you really have to go read in between the lines, whether it's trying to decipher the quarterbacks or running backs or what have you. I do like I know Sip got in trouble for asking about the reset, but it sure does feel like we're in the midst of one. And
whether it be a new quarterback, whether it be a new approach on the offensive line with new big bodies, or the new defensive coordinator. It sure seems like that. And I think my biggest takeaway is that how little we've heard about this program. Yeah, we get the twice weekly updates at the podium, but that's about it. And they're gonna dial it back a little bit for spring break, and then it's gonna be game week. So whether game week or the game day is the only time we'll get video of this stuff, that's to be seen. But I think this is all done by design. I think that's healthy for this team after what we've gone through the last couple of years, right?
Is there a possibility that you get no open practices this year to film anything?
I think there's a possibility of that.
Wow.
You might get to the final week, and then they say, you know what, they can get them on game day. They can get pregame warm-ups on getting game day. And that's what we'll have to deal with. And by the way, that could be the Elite Eight weekend. So media contingent too.
I know you because it's TV and it's your, maybe I'll just say this. I vehemently disagree if they do that for you guys. I mean,
I do too.
That'd be crazy. I mean, we're already in an era, Andy, where we've limited so much availability for reporters and writers and TV people in terms of what we're able to see and how we're able to talk to players. And, I remember coming into, this media contingent and people telling me, yeah, we used to go to practice all the time. Practices used to be open. You used to just sit back and watch full practices. And, to me, that's crazy because we get 15 minutes of warm-ups, where they're not really showing you a whole lot. And if they were to take that away completely, that's a lot of information and articles and access that, we did a lot with a little, and to take the little that we already have, I think would be ridiculous.
Well, yeah, I think I missed, I didn't read the calendar correctly. I think they've got one more week before spring break. So,
okay.
Maybe we get that next week, but wouldn't it be funny if they give us access next week and then and then most of the people are in Chicago for basketball.
That would be funny. That would be very, very funny.
I'm not criticizing. They can run the program whatever way they see fit. It's just for us. I want to do a story on Owen Chambliss, and it's a over the shoulder graphic of a guy smiling into the camera and then into a soundbite, and you got to. That's what you got.
Yeah,
that's what you got. That's what it's going to be.
But B-roll day is a legit day. I was there with Kevin at 10-11. That's a big day.
Hell yeah.
You
got to coordinate. You take offense, you take defense.
Yes.
Make sure you get X, Y, Z. It's a big deal.
Or when you had 4 of them, you go, hey, our first 2, we got plenty of these guys and we got plenty of these coaches. We got to get these guys, and stuff like that.
I forgot that there's one extra week. So I'll say that I would expect next week we'd get a little window, but we'll see.
All right. AK, you're the best, man. I appreciate you as always. Andy Kendi from KETV.
Thanks, brother. Have a good one.
You too. Hey, do not forget, USC is live tomorrow at the T-Box on Sportsmanlike Conduct on the road. I'll be there too. Will you be there, Josh Hodson? Maybe you will be. I think Mike Schaefer's going to be there.
No.
All right. We're going to have a lot of people from the zone at the T-Box tomorrow. Come out, meet Josh, meet John, come and see me. I think Schaefer will be out there. We'd love to hang out with you. Love to talk to you. T-Box, an awesome place located 718th North 114th Street. Come out and see the 1620 The Zone boys. Coming up next, we wrap up this Thursday edition of Middays with Matt.
Middays with Matt on 1620 The Zone. Now back to Middays with Matt on 1620 The Zone.
All right, we put in some computer projections here on Twitter. Here to report that Nebraska basketball for the Big Ten tournament has a 58% chance at being the 2 seed, 12% chance of being the 3 seed, 5% chance of being the 4 seed. But the second highest outcome, the second most likely outcome, according to computer projections, is Nebraska being a 5 seed at 25% chance of that happening. It all gets solved, really, if you beat Iowa. If you beat Iowa, you don't got to worry about any of this hubbubaloo. If you don't beat Iowa, you got to hope that Purdue loses or you got to hope that Illinois loses, which probably not going to happen because Illinois goes ahead and plays Maryland. So, oops. Probably not
TCB.
So go ahead and make sure that you don't lose to Iowa, because then you're hoping that Wisconsin goes on the road to Mackey and beats Purdue. So
tall task.
Handle business. Just handle your business. Be a 2 seed. Get that Q1 win. Momentum going to the Big Ten tournament. Play on a Friday. Win a game. Then I don't really care. Get to 10 quad 1 victories, and I don't give a damn. I don't give a rat's butt. Because then if you get to 10 quad 1 wins, you got an okay chance of being a 2 seed. That's how I see it.
Holding out hope.
Holding out hope. And we're holding out hope that you have plenty of us to watch tonight. Josh Hodson, what are we watching?
I do. Number 3, Michigan at Iowa. Do a little opposition research tonight.
Oh, thank you. I would love to do that.
7 o'clock on Peacock. Rutgers at number 8, Michigan State. 7 o'clock start on FS1. The Omaha women take on North Dakota State in the Summit quarterfinals. That gets underway here, roughly 2 o'clock. You can listen to it on 1290 Coil. NBA on Prime tonight. Warriors Rockets at 6:30, followed by Lakers Nuggets at 9. ESPN has NHL tonight. Sabres Penguins at 6. And then Islanders going all the way out west to take on the Kings at 8:30. World Baseball Classic action. Korea has beaten the team from the former Czech Republic.
Czechia.
It's difficult for me to say. I don't know why.
It's Czechia. It's
Czechia.
Czechia.
11-4 earlier today. Australia, who won last night, takes on Czechia tonight. 9 o'clock on FS1. Softball, anyone?
Why not?
Number 10, Nebraska takes on South Dakota State at 4 o'clock and at 6 o'clock. Both games on Big Ten Plus. And finally, on Peacock tonight, the season 2 premiere of Ted, the series. John and Ted, I didn't read this before.
Go ahead. Nope, you got to read it now.
John and Ted call a phone sex hotline.
Hell yeah.
Play Dungeons and Dragons and take part in a school play during senior year. Really wish I would have read that before I put it on the what to
Wow,
watch.
you like phone sex and Dungeons and Dragons?
I don't like
Josh,
either of those
wow,
things.
You like Playboy models.
All right, folks, let's talk right now. I'm going to kill your bookmaker. I'm going to rip his throat out. I will blow this man out. I will step on his throat until the man chokes. Let me tell you how. Dog. Winners. Dog. Winners. Dog. Winners. Dog. Winners. Dog. Winners. I'm on a roll.
Dude, you got to love dogs, right?
Do you know who's not on a roll? The Drake Bulldogs. They lost 9 games in a row. They're taking on the pride of Carbondale, Illinois. The Southern Illinois Salukis.
2
today.
programs Creighton left in the dust.
We're gonna up the spread. We're gonna take Southern Illinois minus 8.5.
Okay.
Minus 8. They're a 4.5 point favorite. No. They're gonna win by a lot today. Minus 8.5 for SIU. Plus 143 against the Drake Bulldogs.
So your dog of the day is a Saluki.
Yes, my dog is of the day is a favorite who's a higher favorite, which makes him a dog.
Okay.
Does that compute?
That's fine. I just thought it was neat that the dog of the day is a matchup between the Salukis and the Bulldogs, which are both dogs.
Oh. Double dog of the day.
Double dog.
Double dog of the day. Hey, don't forget, before we wrap up the show, we want to remind you to support the Open Door Mission and our sister station, Sweet 98.5, by donating for their TP, for their TP drive this Saturday, March 7th, 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. at the Family Fair on 108th and Maple. TP, of course, being toilet paper. So their toilet paper drive. Can't make the event? You can drop off some toilet paper donations to our office on 50th and Dodge or donate online at sweet98.com. But a great episode of Middays with Matt. Going to be a better crossover coming up next with USC on 1620 The Zone.